You just find a picture of like a mummy bird and a baby bird feeding, and then just change the food
Put
for an
Drummer
egg.
Matt's face over like the mummy bird, and then where the baby bird's going, please, Drummer Matt, spit eggs into our gaping maws. Hello and welcome to episode 74 of the MisanthroPod. I'm Snipe, and as always, I'm joined by Wib. Say hello.
Hello.
And I'm also joined by Drummer Matt, who is currently mouthing along with me. Say hello.
Hello.
How are you, lovely gentlemen, today?
I'm okay. I'm okay. I've been working all morning, and now podcast happen.
Yes.
Everything is fine.
Okay.
Matt, how are you?
I'm good. And Snipe?
I'm fine, thank you very much for asking. So, got a bit of general news first. We're going to be putting out a new video probably on Sonntag.
Talk about it in the past tense, because it will be up by then.
Okay, we've put a new video out.
You might want to start a sentence again.
Wib is violently motioning at this. Half the podcast is me looking at Wib and him going, no, and like finger across the neck, kind of just fucking cut it. And I'm like, should I keep going? I don't know.
No, you should start that segment again. Because you were 20 seconds into it and trying to splice halfway between it will be a nightmare.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is, it's me doing it, so I don't care. And plus, it's really funny that I get to break the fourth wall and talk about how half the podcast is just you literally just kind of motioning vigorously with your hands going, shut up or cut that, don't do that, you've said it wrong, do it again.
I mean, it's not that bad.
It really is. The reason you're not doing it now is because you're having a sip of tea.
Okay, the fourth wall is officially destroyed, so start that sentence again.
So some general news, we've released a new Codex Compliant. Well, it's not on a book, but it's still in the Codex Compliant series.
It's under the Codex Compliant branding, shall we say.
Yes.
We put out a video, if you have not seen it, about the history of the Space Marine model line, looking at the early years of it before it became sort of what it is now.
Which is Primaris Lieutenants.
Nothing but
No
Primaris
one's
Lieutenants.
made that joke before.
No one has ever said that joke, and it doesn't make me die a little inside every time I say it.
Copyright Snipe. If you use it, you owe me 25 pence.
Anyway.
I'm going to be so loaded, you guys. I'm going to buy us all a packet of double chocolate muffins.
I hope by the time that you lot are listening to this, then we'll have come up with a good name for the episode, because currently I have no idea what to call it.
You haven't even asked me. Is this because you know that I would say, like, the retweet boys to Primaris Lieutenants?
Yeah, because that is both confusing and inaccurate.
I mean, it's not, and shut up.
Well, it is, because it doesn't go up to present day, so it doesn't cover Primaris Lieutenants at all.
No, you're right. It goes up to the new Chaos Terminators that have been leaked. I wanted to mention them.
You
I know they're
just
not
wanted to
confirmed,
prove
but
it's the thing you saw.
I saw Chaos Terminators. I like how they have big horns on their mouth. They're horny boys. And that's the working title. So it's
The thing is, everyone who's listening will know that you actually picked a better and or worse title, because you'll have titled it when they watch it.
Yeah. So it's just gonna be like Beakies and like stuff in brackets, not the horny Chaos Boys or Primaris.
I think it's quite probable that I'm going to be the one naming the episode.
Why? When I have such endless potential.
Anyway, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's longer than a normal episode. It's sort of a little bit of a special thing, obviously, because it's not covering a book like our normal Codex Compliant episodes. If you guys like this sort of deviation from it, we'll probably do some more things like that in the future. Expand the branding of Codex Compliant, as it were.
Comment, subscribe, and also hit that motherfucking bell.
Smash that bell. Smash it to pieces. Absolutely destroy it. Make it so YouTube come to your house and give you a cease and desist because you're smashing the bell too much.
Yeah,
well,
like
just straight up make YouTube come, because I feel like that's what they do every time anyone actually uses the bell. Someone at YouTube goes, "Oh, someone used it.
I can finally have my release." They're all hooked up to like fucking orgasm denial machines at YouTube. See, if this is decided that it's not suitable for advertisers from the algorithm and someone has to manually come in, I have just accused everyone that they work with of being hooked up to an orgasm denial machine.
You see,
they don't get to come until somebody hits the bell.
I'm seeing it as a much more mundane one, where the YouTube office, it's just like a regular, like, open plan kind of office style, and just every now and again one of the staff would go, oh, just come.
Yeah, like once every 6 months because nobody hits the bell.
Yeah. But yeah, so go watch that video and make the people at the YouTube offices climax. So
Because then they might not be such dicks to everyone trying to make a fucking living.
they might have a functional website then.
Nah.
Anyway, with that said, I guess we should move on to the meat and potatoes of this podcast, which is us talking about whatever the fuck we've been doing.
No, meat and potatoes is your sexy nickname for drummer Matt.
Well, yeah, he's the first one to go, so
Yeah.
he's my little pork and spud.
Pork and spud.
Yeah.
Well, what am I then? Am I the Yorkshire puddings filled with like cold gravy that you've left a bit too long and that you just kind of just push it to the side? Or am I like the tinned corn?
You're
I'm the sprouts. You have them so people don't think that you're a non-vegetable eating weirdo.
You're a
but
king-
then you just pretend that you're full by the time you get to them.
I was gonna say you're my King Edward and a sausage.
I don't know what a King Edward and sausage
It's
is.
a type of potato, isn't it? King Edward's a type of potato.
Yeah.
I thought it was a monarch, but I guess fuck knows at all.
The British monarchy is very
guys
fucked
like
up,
naming-
and it's very fucked up and inbred. And would it surprise you to know if at some point we did crown a potato?
Honestly, that sounds like pretty good kind of like deviation from the garbage norm that you guys have.
Yeah.
So I'm just like a big monarchy inspired potato
Yeah.
and a sausage.
Yes.
Is that good?
I'd say so.
Am I a baked potato? Am I a mashed potato?
that's-
Am I fries? Am I chips? Am I steak chips? Am I crinkle cut steak chips?
Ooh, that's a tough one because
Crinkle cut.
Okay,
steak
fuck the rest
chips.
of the podcast. We're going to talk about the greatest method of delivering potatoes because
Okay,
I would say I would say that it's a tie between mashed potatoes
Yeah.
because mashed potatoes are fucking incredible and crinkle cut chips.
Thick ones.
Not because they're inherently good, but the crinkle just makes them better.
The crinkle is adds an exciting kind of mouth feel.
It does, yes.
And it allows for more flavours to be stored.
It does, exactly. So
And
I think
more
crinkle
dip.
Cut. Yes.
So what do you reckon? If we have to pick between those two, would you side on the mash or the crinkle cut chip?
I would say
side?
mashed potatoes, especially when made correctly with like butter and milk.
Yeah.
I would say those are way more versatile.
Yeah, I'd agree with that actually. Yeah.
Like you could probably put that in a lot more dinners, kind of thing. You could add cheese to it if you want. Whereas I think crinkle cut chips are god tier, but they're a little bit rigid in their application.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the mashed potato too.
Are we just comparing how good the different sorts of potatoes are, or are we saying which one is best that Snipe is? I've forgotten.
No, just this the good potatoes. Welcome
Okay,
to the
we've moved
Potato
on.
Pod.
Okay, cool. Just
Episode 1 of the MisanthroPotato. The MisanthroPotato.
MisanthroPod.
MisanthroPod. I'm your host, King Edward III. And
I am
joined
also
by...
here a sad, damp packet of smash.
Oh.
Anyway,
But we're
Matthew,
also joined by Drummer Smash. Say hello.
so drummer smash.
It's canon.
What have you?
Why
been
are you
up
still
to?
listening, everyone who's still listening?
I think it's a bit like a train wreck, you know, they don't want to stare, but they cannot look away.
Honestly, at this point, I kind of feel like if they haven't stopped listening after 73 episodes of this fucking dross, then
I mean,
I don't know what depths we could plumb that people would stop listening at.
we literally had a title of spitting raw eggs into each other's mouths, and people, beautiful people, maybe they're just listening and hoping that someone will kick in the door and offer us some kind of assistance, or like we'll get the help that we need. And they're just like,
This whole podcast is just a cry for help.
It is, yeah. This is true.
So yes, Drummer Spud, what have you been up to over the last fortnight?
I've got a few bits on my list. I've started playing Night in the Woods because you brought it up again recently, and I was like, okay, I just need to buy it now. So I didn't even wait for it to be on sale. I'm very proud of myself.
Oh, nice one.
Nice.
And yeah, I've played about 3 or 4 hours, and I think so far I have played more of the game on the laptop than the actual game, like the game within a game.
Oh, the dungeon game.
Demon Tower.
Demon Tower.
Yeah. I played like an hour of the game and quite enjoying it, but then I got bogged down trying to complete Demon Tower.
How many levels are there of Demon Tower? I've never actually seen
it. I go up to level 7 and it gets quite hard because every level you go through, you lose 1 off your like maximum health.
Oh, dang.
So by level 7, you've only got 4 hearts left. And I say presumably it goes up to 9 or 10, whatever that ends up being. You presumably can't start a level with no health. So I assume...
You've never played the Binding of Isaac?
7... Yeah. Well, no, I have not, actually.
You should. It's very good.
You just got this game that you told me to.
You should beat Night in the Woods first, because it's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, so I've just got up to the first party bit. And, man, it's just making me so sad.
Yeah.
The whole game exudes sadness, and it's great, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's a bad thing at all. And not all games should just, be happy. But, oh, man, it's sad.
I'd say the biggest thing for me is that it's so fucking real.
Mm.
And it's just like, oh... It's like, even if like you've led a pretty decent life, there's still a lot of moments that you'll probably empathise with.
I mean, we lived in a... Even though it's not...
You lived in Possum Springs.
Yeah, Nuke it. Nuke Possum Springs.
The place we lived was a lot larger than Possum Springs, but then small town in America means fucking small town. Whereas small town in Britain is still quite big comparatively.
But they still have the small town kind of mentality there.
Yeah.
Where, they've... Well, I mean, the one we lived in was pretty... Didn't like outsiders or anything different, and anyone you would speak to, it was literally a timer before they said something horrifyingly racist, homophobic, or sexist.
It was basically like Innsmouth, but without a coastline.
Yeah, really. But it did stink of fish.
And the people were, in some kind of bizarre incestuous relationship with a dark god.
Yeah.
So, that's the thing. We should all probably talk about it a little bit, because I know that we've all played it this week, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, have we... I didn't want to talk about it too much, just because I didn't know how much you guys have spoke about it before on the podcast.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, because I talked about it at length when I played through it last year.
I can't remember.
And I've started playing through it again, because I realised I'd never actually played through as a full Greg run, so I'm playing through as a Greg run.
Well, my first run was a B run, so I want to go a Greg run too.
Yeah, I will say, because having done a bit of the Greg run, because I'm a few hours through at this point, I originally, when playing through it the first time and I went through B, it was because every time I spoke to her, it felt like she needed someone there more than Greg did. Greg has Angus. Mm-hmm. He's doing okay for himself, but having had a few... trips out with Greg, there is now I'm like, oh god, now I feel bad about leaving either of them on.
Before I even made my first choice, I was like, because I knew that those were the two you sort of made a choice between hanging out with, and I was thinking, okay, yeah, it does seem that, Greg seems okay, and he's got some support, whereas B, she doesn't have that same support. It looks like, just from the first, meeting them for the first 10-15 minutes or whatever. But then B said something about Greg that made me so sad for Greg. And I can't remember exactly what it was he said. But she just said something in passing. I was just like, oh no, Greg needs way more help than this. So now I don't know what to do. So I don't know, because I presume you do, from what you've said, you're going to go do a Greg one. Suggest that you can, do one or the other. Really, you can't like split between the two.
You can.
The thing is, like, it just leaves out certain little bits. But from what I've seen of Wib's playthrough, is the fact that it kind of makes up the cliff notes. Because because I went out with B when you went out with Greg for your first run.
Yeah, because when I did it the first time, I did do a couple with Greg, and then did a few with B, and then did the rest of it with B.
Yeah, well, I mean, initially I was gonna go B, Greg, and then I did like B, Greg, B, and then I was like, I'll just stick with B for now, and I'll go and do a proper thing. But yeah, I like it how like Greg is a comedy character, but he's got so much depth to him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, dang, how do you manage that? That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good game. It's I said it was fucking great last year, and it's still good. Fucking play it.
Also,
you've beaten it though, haven't you?
Yes. Yes, I have completed it now, and oh my god, wow. Okay,
Goes places, doesn't it?
it goes places. Also, Germ is weird.
Germ warfare is fucking weird.
Yeah, so weird.
That's a character in the game, by the way.
Oh,
that's not as being weird.
Yeah.
I
Just met him in passing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's weird.
It's like, I think one of the first interactions you have with him is you walk up to him and he's like, "Oh, I saw like a possum like dragging itself across the road."
Yeah.
And May's like, "Oh, what was it? Like hit by a car or something?" And he's like, "No, just had rabies." He's like, "Oh, what happened to it? Got hit by a car."
You're just like, yeah, that's Germ.
It's like kind of poetic, really, isn't it? It's like, no, Germ, no, it's not.
Also, I love Selma's, and I listen to her poems every day.
Mm.
Her poems are great. Like, darkest night, got in a fight with a man with an overbite, or something like that. And it's just like, yeah, I feel you.
It's like, my life is a dankness,
Yeah.
but you make me feel a thankness.
And I'm just like, you know what? I support my friends in their creative endeavours, and I think that's amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, has anyone got anything else to say about Night in the Woods in general?
I like it, and I'm looking forward to my Greg run.
Okay. You got to wait for me to finish my Greg run though before that, so...
Yeah, the only last thing I had to say is it's made me realise how stressed I get about games where you have choice. I get so stressed about missing out something.
Oh, I
So
get you.
I'm already thinking now, I was like, right, if is the best way to do this, I was going to alternate, but then I was like, well, I'll have to remember which way round I did it, and if I accidentally do two in a row, I'll have to remember, so when I play it again, I can do the opposite. So I was like, well, so the best way of doing it is just pick with one person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and then go back and do it again. But I was like, but then what happens if there's like some extra story that I miss from like doing a bit of both and there's some like interaction? I was like, oh no, and now I've thought about it too much.
Because you don't want to look it up, because then you'll probably get things
exactly.
spoiled for you.
Yeah, totally. So I'm loving the game, but it's stressing me out aside from the sadness. Like just the mechanics of it are stressing me out.
Just
apparently.
stick to one person and just go, well, I'm just going to cover all this in the second playthrough. It's fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to hopefully do.
So it's all good.
Because I don't even know how long it is, but I assume it's not like a 20-hour...
It's about 8 hours long.
Yeah, so I can play it and then just immediately play again.
For you, if you're going to be trying to beat Demon Tower, the game within the game, if you people at home don't know, there is a laptop that the main character has, and it has a little, like... It's not a roguelike, but it feels very similar to like the kind of style of gameplay you'd get in one. Just a little kind of action RPG type thing, but like a really basic pixel thing. And it's called Demon Tower, and it's remarkably fun. I have also been trying to chip through it whilst I've been playing through.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, you don't have if you die in a level, you just restart the level. But the levels, once you know where you need to get a key to open a door in each level, basically. Once you know where the key is and where the door is to get to the boss, like, if you die, you can just run back there. So, like, it doesn't... So you can kind of just keep going and you can't game over. So you can but then you can't save. So I was playing the other day and I got through to this level 7 and got frustrated on it for like an hour on this one level. And I had to go out. I was like, do I just leave my computer on or do I just turn it off? But then I have to start again. It's like, oh no.
Time to leave the computer on.
I spent far too much time on that game. I don't know if you get anything for finishing it.
Oh, you get an achievement.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
it saves how far you've got.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I haven't been back since because I was like, I can't be bothered to start again.
At
You've got to go back to say hi to Sharkle.
You got to click on Sharkle.
Yeah. Oh no, I accidentally killed Sharkle because I pressed the wrong button.
How do you kill Sharko?
I didn't know you could kill Sharko.
Oh no! Wait. I'm not thinking of the right person. Sorry. No,
You're thinking of like Clippy. In
I'm thinking of the. No, I'm. Oh, that
laptop.
guy. Yeah. Okay, that thing.
Where he goes, hey.
Oh, I killed the guy. There's a guy in the Demon Tower game that gives you advice, and I killed him.
Oh yeah, I may have accidentally killed him too.
You're both monsters.
He was standing right there. He looked like an enemy, and I had a sword.
What does an enemy look like?
Now we're getting into an interesting philosophical question, one I'm not prepared to answer. So Matthew, tell us what the next thing is you did in the last fortnight.
New series to watch. Firstly, just as a side note, because I'm not going to talk about it because we talk about it far too often. Been watching season 6 of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Very, very good.
9-9.
Obviously approved. So we usually have on the go, we'll have like a 20-minute comedy short form thing to watch, and then we'll have a longer, maybe 40-minute, more serious, in inverted commas, series. Which was going to be Umbrella Academy, but as previously mentioned, we didn't stick with that.
Yeah.
So we needed a replacement. So we had a bit of a play through Netflix, and we started watching a series of unfortunate events.
Oh yeah,
because it's
Neil
been on
Patrick Harris.
Yeah, it's been up to like 3 series. So it's obviously good enough to be renewed a few times. It's been pestering us for the last like 3 years. Or not, it's just been. I've been aware of it on Netflix, and I never quite got around to it because something always put me off, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it. But yeah, it's Neil Patrick Harris, who is great. He's a very nice person, seemingly. And I've heard about various other guest stars it's had in it of other people that I like. That have said, "Oh, I've just done a guest star in this." And I was like, oh, I should watch that. And we just never got round to it. And we started watching it, and it's great. It is genuinely... It's definitely a kid's show. Because it's based off kids' books. It's definitely for kids. And it's very much similar, like... Sort of like, an old, like, Saturday morning cartoon in that, like... It's not quite real. Like, it's very cartoonish, even though it is live action. Like, the responses of people, you're just like, oh yeah, usually if a person doesn't just go to the cops or go and do the obvious thing which would fix all their problems, that winds me up in a show. But because it's like obviously a kid's film, I'm just like, yeah, this is great. And it's so funny. And I don't know if it's just the mood that we've been into watching it, but man, like there's joke after joke that hits home, and it's just, yeah, very much recommend.
Okay, I'd never actually heard anyone really talk about it, so I had no idea.
Yeah, neither had I. But I was like, it keeps being renewed, so it must be half decent. But I'd never really heard that much about it.
Shit, that there's a Netflix original series.
Yeah, but not many of them get 3 series.
Yeah, true.
At least
a lot of them ones have. They cancel.
Well, exactly. Yeah. So I was like, they must have something. And yeah, so it's about a couple of there's like 3 kids, 2 of which are I don't know. I don't even know how old they are. I'm very bad at judging kids' ages. I'm going to go with 12 and 14, but plus or minus a bit. I don't really know.
Plus or minus 5 years.
Yeah, I know they're not. I know the oldest isn't 16 yet, and they're from and then there's like a little baby, and straight up, the baby is the best character because the baby just makes baby noises. But in this universe, baby isn't just incomprehensible noises. Like baby talk is its own language, so some people can understand baby. Okay. And this baby has the best lines. It's just like subtitled, so we can understand what it is because obviously we don't understand baby. And
I mean, speak for yourself. Some of the lines, 3 years of baby at college.
This baby is the sassiest fucking baby. It's so good.
It reminds me of. I remember seeing somebody going, "I want a video. I want a movie about this really sweet little girl, at school, whose internal monologue, should I say, is narrated by Samuel L. Jackson."
Right, yeah,
and I'm like, okay, no, yeah. I'm in love with it. I want that baby to be dubbed by Samuel L. Jackson because that would be amazing.
Yeah, this one isn't dubbed, but we just get a subtitle, but it's still good. And yeah, basically, there's just 3 kids and their parents. The conceit of it is that their parents die and they get sent to live with some other family member who then some token baddie comes in and basically persuades the bank to give them to him instead, and he's just after the money. And then it's just a series of unfortunate events. I wasn't going to say it until I said a series of, and then I couldn't stop myself. Yeah, and it's narrated by Patrick Warburton, which is a nice, comforting voice.
His bread is warm and soft, like bread.
And he's very breaky force war, like he's narrating straight to the camera.
Okay.
Being like, I really don't recommend you watch any of this. It's really unsettling. It makes me sad. It's my job to watch this, but I don't recommend you do. And it's
that sounds like the sort of thing that we'd put at the start of a video.
Totally.
It sounds like the kind of disclaimer they have at the beginning of a new Family Guy episode.
This makes me sad. Don't watch it.
Yeah. Apart from in that one, it's like straight up serious, whereas this obviously is.
Yeah.
But
Patrick Wilson means it when he's talking about Family Guy.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just a series of cartoonish things happen that they sort of struggle with and deal with, and yeah, we're only 3 episodes in now, so I've no idea. I think it's based on there's like 30. It's based on a book or a series of books.
Yeah.
And I think there's 13 of them. So I think the yeah, and I think the series, like the first 2 episodes, were called, I can't even remember what the episode title was, but it was something Part 1. Then something Part 2, and then the 3rd episode we watched was a different title, Part 1. So I haven't checked this, but I think like each 2 episodes is going to basically be based on one of the books.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seems to be the gist. But then there's a bit of an overarching story sort of going through as well. But yeah, I definitely recommend. Go into it realising it is a kid's thing. So it's not like trying to be like particularly twisty or clever in the way that a lot of shows now are all trying to have like bigger and better twists and cleverness.
Everything's trying to be Game of Thrones.
Yeah, this isn't like that. It is just a kids thing, I think, but that doesn't mean there's not jokes for like grown-ups, and it's not suitable for grown-ups. And yeah, we absolutely loved it. Okay. It's like getting us properly laughing out loud through most of the episodes. So
cool.
Yeah,
I
recommend.
mean, it does sound a lot more entertaining than the movie that they did.
Yeah, I never watched that, and I think that might be one of the reasons why I was sort of a bit like, whatever. But yeah,
the movie wasn't great, so I'm glad that the series sounds like it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm glad that we found it, and now we're just like, oh, actually, there's 3 seasons of this. That's good.
It's always nice when you find something like that, and it's like, oh, this thing is good. How many episodes are there of it? A lot. Excellent.
Excellent. I don't actually know how many episodes there are. I imagine there's only I think there's only 8 or 10 per series, but
okay,
that's not bad. So yeah, thumbs up from us. Recommended.
Okay,
cool.
The last 2 things I've got 2 things that I haven't written on my notes, and I'm trying to remember what both of them are. Very briefly, went to see Captain Marvel.
Oh yes, how was it?
It's good. It is exactly the same as all the other Marvel films in essence, apart from it's not just like a white dude in the lead, which is so nice.
Yeah, it's nice to have a bit of a change.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it doesn't do anything that any of the other Marvel films.
Oh no, like Marvel films tend to follow like a really Marvel film is a genre now, basically.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. And if you liked any of the other ones, you'll like this one.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, with pretty much all of the other, like apart from the Avengers, which is like the mainline ones, which I'll go see at the cinema because Wibb's dad is like super into them and he always takes us along with the Star Wars movies.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm probably just gonna wait until it's like on DVD or whatever and then watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing.
I am interested to see how they do it because like Carol Danvers is pretty rad.
It's the whole thing with like the Marvel movies is that they tend to sit in this kind of dead zone of quality, which is not like a bad thing, but it's like they're very rarely fantastic, but they're never terrible. Like even the worst one, which I'd say is, well, the worst one I've seen anyway, which is like Thor: The Dark World, which is mostly just entirely forgettable. But I remember being entertained whilst watching it. It's like, it's fine. It's just I'll never watch it again.
Yeah.
And
like
Spider-Verse,
which I would say is outside of the Marvel genre.
I wouldn't count that as a Marvel
I know,
movie.
I just wanted to mention the Spider-Verse because I really want to watch it again because it's good.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's great. But because that's made by Sony. Who doing their own thing.
Are currently not owned by Disney.
They're the only thing not owned by Disney.
They might be by the time this podcast gets released.
By the time this goes out, will probably be owned by Sony.
Disney.
Well, I mean, technically, by Disney. I mean, technically, we did used to be on.
We did used to be owned by Disney.
Well, we our multi-channel
before
network.
the Alpha Bus as an entity bought you.
Yes,
I prefer the Alpha Bus as an entity.
Our old multi-channel network that we were on was RPM, which was a subsidiary of Maker, which was owned by Disney. So, for a while anyway, we were both Disney princesses. So
Nice.
That's pretty cool. I was more of a Mulan kind of princess in the way that I'm kind of an honorary princess. Because, I don't like royalty and shit.
Well, yeah, I mean...
And I want to carry a sword.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
But yeah, anything else to say about Captain Marvel?
No, it's good. If you've been to see other ones, go and see this one.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I'm being dismissive of it. It's very important for what it is, don't get me wrong. I'm just... Aside from that, just as a film, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's me because I had one more thing and I can't for the life of me think what it was.
Halfway through, mine, you'll go,
Yeah.
I
will do. I will do.
But your time will have passed.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I guess then we'll pass it over to Snipe. What have you been up to in the last 2 weeks? Snipe, my dear.
Oh. I've been having a bit of trouble with mental health lately, so not a super amount. I've been enjoying the WoW craft. Got a new character.
Of course.
I would have spoken about Night in the Woods, but we've covered it so much. So yeah, I completed that. Good
nice.
game. Do like. Completed DMC 5.
Yeah, we played that on stream.
Yep, Devil May Cry, which was actually because my brother got it for me because he is the best dude, and I was kind of like, I've never been able to play character action games. I suck at them. I'm no good at them. They're just too much for my feeble brain, and I can't handle them. This DMC 5 makes what's the word? It makes allowances for you. So it has an assisted mode, which I literally got over halfway through the game before I realized I wasn't activating it. So I was just playing it normally and not realizing.
Well, it's the thing. Whereas if someone tells you that you've got training wheels on, then
you feel more comfortable.
So you're more comfortable.
Yeah. We've got 3 characters. You've got Nero. You've got Dante, because of course you have to, and you've got V, which is a new character, and he's a skinny emo boy with a bunch of tattoos, and
who looks like Adam Driver for some reason.
He looks like a skinny Adam Driver, and honestly, he's my favorite character to play. He's because standard kind of DMC is you are anime boy with huge sword, murdering people in the air and quipping.
Yes.
And when you're playing as V, he just stands back and lets his demons do the work. So you control 2 demons, and you just stand in the background kind of giving them orders, and then you can summon a super special demon.
But you have to finish off the enemies.
But yeah, you can't you can't your demons can't kill them outright, so you have to basically poke them with a silver cane.
Okay. Boop.
Yeah,
pretty much.
And then they die. And I got on so well with that playstyle that I just became massively disinterested in ever playing as Dante or Nero. I would immediately pass to Wib and just go, fucking do it, I don't care. Although, I did fight the second last boss as Dante without, I had assisted mode on for a quarter of it.
And
then
you've not played Dante.
I never played Dante, and Dante is the most complex fuck you character to use. He's got multiple different weapon styles. He's got multiple different weapon combinations.
Okay, I'll run you through what he has. So, Dante as a character, he has
a motorcycle.
So you've basically got 3 attack buttons. So you've got ranged, melee attack, and then a third button that does different things depending on which style you're in. He has 4 styles, one of which has a counter thing, one's
fist fighty,
one's got a dodge thing, one's got just an extra type of blade attack, and one's got a ranged attack. All 4, and that's 4 styles. Now, all those 4 styles are split between 4 different weapons, which all have their own variants of those 4 styles.
Yep.
He also has 3 ranged weapons, which can cycle through all of these things you cycle through on the fly. And he has 2 separate, super forms that you activate in slightly different ways. 2 different devil triggers.
Mm-hmm. He is fucking complicated, to say the least.
It's not so bad once you've played it for a little bit, but just...
Yeah, but that was the first time I'd played Dante.
Yeah, just the gem...
And it was against the second last fucking boss.
He's just a bit overwhelming at times.
Overwhelming is the words I'd use.
But one of his attacks means that he hits people with a bike.
He literally, it's a motorcycle that's been shorn in half, and he just hits people. Although sometimes he gets on the bike and does burnouts, and does donuts on
Yeah,
them.
you can mix in a bike doing donuts into your combos. But yeah, it's really, really good. Because I've played through... Okay, I've got a weird history with Devil May Cry in that I've beaten 1, 4, and DMC. I haven't played the worst one and the best one. So I have only played through the most average of Devil May Cries before this. For some reason, I don't know why, I just have not played... I've literally got both 2 and 3 on PlayStation 2. I've just never got around to actually beating them.
My almost entire knowledge of it is, and I'm not 100% sure this is this game series, but I think at some point one of the characters changes their hairstyle.
Oh,
Yes.
you're talking about DMC, how that was originally supposed to be a big ballsy reboot where they changed Dante into an absolutely fucking dreadful piece of shit.
It was originally supposed to be a prequel, and then they sort of bottled and then decided to make it a reboot.
Yeah. And the thing is, the game is fine. The game is good. But Dante is a fucking stupid little shit that just isn't Dante. And I think, honestly, if it wasn't a DMC game, I think people would really, really love it.
Yeah, yeah.
But they had to, like, crank it in and, like... And then there was the whole people literally screaming hysterically because his hair was different. It was like, oh, he doesn't have white hair. It's like... Okay.
I wonder if something will happen in the game that will mean that he'll get white hair. I wonder if that could happen.
Yeah, but Capcom have been kind of like freaking out and trying to erase it and trying to brush it under the rug, whereas just everyone being dicks about it.
On the bright side, in that game, there is a boss fight where you basically fight Bill O'Reilly as personified as Fox News. It's weird.
I mean, again, see, if it wasn't attached to the DMC name, it would have been very, very better received.
I think so, absolutely. Yeah, I think it probably would be.
So yeah, that's a lesson to you. Like, if you want to change a character's hairstyle, then people will literally send you death threats. Despite the fact that, they did change the character and they had, like, really homophobic design principles for that Dante.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into it, but if you want to look for the DMC design kind of documents, they get really fucking dicey.
Yeah.
But, like... Yeah... But DMC5 is good. DMC5 is way better than I thought it would be. I didn't really have many expectations. Again, I'm not a character action person. That's not something a genre I'm usually massively interested in. But yeah, I saw V and I was like, I want to play as him, and unfortunately you just stopped being able to play as him like the last third of the game, so I was like, fuck off me, I guess. And also it's like, I want there to be a mode where after you've completed the game, you can go through the entire game as a character of your choice. I would love that, and I appreciate it would be a little bit OP or whatever, it might need a bit of rebalancing, but I don't care, I want to play as V. He has demonic Heelys, and it's awesome.
Demonic Heelys.
Yeah, you get the speed upgrade when you're running, and instead of running into a sprint because he walks with a cane, he kind of just starts surfing around on black poops.
Nice.
And we were like, this is demonic Heelys.
Yeah.
So he's just demonically healing about.
I mean, you can go, once you beat the game, you can just go in and play any level you want in any order.
I don't want to. I want to play through the entire game as a specific character, namely V.
And there are some that you can pick a character, so you can choose to play V in those, I suppose.
Yeah, and we did.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying it's not, what you want isn't entirely absent, it's just not quite what you want.
I'm sorry we don't have chocolate ice cream. Would, cream do?
No, I'm just...
It's warm.
I'm just saying
I kept it in my pocket.
I'm just saying you can go back and you can play the levels that you play with him, so it's not like you have to play through the whole game playing as characters you're not interested in.
No, I appreciate that, but I want to basically just go through the entire game with V.
Okay.
But yeah, it's really good. Very much enjoyed that. I've been meaning to get back to it, but I'm bad at things, so I haven't.
That's fair.
Yeah. So apart from that, yeah, I'm pretty sure I watched like a couple of things, but I can't be. Oh, I watched through the new season of Queer Eye.
Oh yes,
That was really good.
Mm.
I like Queer Eye. It's very fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're wandering around like Kansas and Southern American states, and it's a good feelsy program, and you get good tips about like interior design, cooking, psychology, and self-grooming. It's pretty good.
Actually, I will mention, because a lot of people are really embarrassed about this kind of thing, and I feel like stigmas should be broken about this. But I have problems with dandruff.
A lot of people do.
Yeah, and it's not like really bad, but it's like just enough to be really annoying and mean that, like you're sitting there, as someone that wears a lot of black t-shirts, it is eternal pain.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a bit in it which gave a bit of advice about how to deal with
Jonathan Van Ness, the ultimate queen. He's amazing.
Yeah, gave advice on how to deal with dandruff. And what is it? It's you mix
half, like 1 part apple cider vinegar and 1 part water. You shower, wash your hair as normal, then basically spray it into the scalp, work it in, leave it for 10 minutes, then rinse and wash afterwards.
And it fucking works. It also fucking stinks.
Yeah, but it works. And
but it works.
Wib's hair is like super happy and dandruff free.
So
there's like a little bit, but like considering like comparatively how it was, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. So if you do have problems with dandruff, give that a shot.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like they've got beautiful, like loads of beautiful tips in there, like little like tips for how to dress for your body type. Not to be ashamed of a certain body type, but just how to dress so that,
to complement.
Yeah. Exactly, and to make you feel good. And I just think it's really positive and really, really cool. And like, there's a lot of nice things that they do. So like, there was an episode with a lady who described herself as, quote, a lumberjack lesbian, which is an awesome fucking term.
Yeah, I feel like being a lumberjack version of anything improves it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, without a doubt. And she got a makeover, and she was like, yeah, I really like, I guess I don't really like feminine clothes. And Tan, the guy who's like, he does all the clothing, he's like, let's ignore those terms because they're not helpful. And I'm like, that's really positive, because he's like, okay, like, let's just throw like that kind of gender thing out the window for the moment, because it's actively kind of impeding you.
Oh, great.
Because she's kind of like, oh, I don't want to dress feminine, and like, and he's like, well, what does that mean?
Yeah, like
and
Oh, good.
And it's just like, that's really positive. Like they're really positive with that, and they kind of I think it was season 2, they had a trans man on, and they kind of like went through, and there was like this really cool thing where Tan sits down with him and was like, I don't know a massive amount about the trans community, could you educate me? And they just basically have this big chat. So it's like, this is really cool, because like people, like, people are being taught about like transgender people, and kind of this transgender guy in particular is kind of explaining his kind of perspective on it, and I think that was really fucking positive, and it was just wonderful to see.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I just think it's really awesome, so I can really, really recommend it. There's so many feels. Oh my goodness, the feels. And everyone is lovely, and you can pick up some really good tips. So, yeah. My only problem is that the seasons are very short, so it's only like 5 episodes per season.
You've already burned through them all.
I have, and I hate it. It's so upsetting. But yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's basically me.
Okay.
Wibble-it. Just a little bit. What have you been up to?
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit?
Just a little bit.
Okay.
I have been working very hard on...
Whoa, guys, that's a brand new joke.
I know, right?
I know.
I'm so funny.
Sorry, do continue.
No, it's okay. We're here for your shade. What else you got? Come on.
So I've been working on Codex Compliant and stuff. So I've been quite busy.
I've been helping.
Yes, yeah. But there are. But,
I saw the picture.
Oh yeah, that picture where I had to have my hands photoshopped because they were too large, so we had to make them look smaller.
Yes, that's what happened.
yeah. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Let me just grab my cup here. Whoop, crushed it to pieces. Oh no.
Check out our Twitter accounts for context. But so I've done a few little bits and pieces. Obviously been keeping up with Star Trek Discovery. Still enjoying it. I've not really been saying much about it, like on Twitter, where I used to like go through every episode and like talk about it.
I mean, I guess that's kind of a good sign of like you not taking it so deathly seriously, and also you're enjoying it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like, I do have problems with the series, but they're pretty much the same problems like all the time. It's just that quite a lot of the episodes have like scenes in them where if the scenes were a minute longer, so it wasn't so rushed, the entire episode would be improved. Like, being a bit rushed is the biggest problem they've had in episodes, and everything else has been pretty decent. Hell, I don't know if I mentioned this in the last one because I can't remember which episode it was in, but they literally had a bit where they utterly destroyed the idea that this is like a different canon, because they straight up have a flashback to The Cage, the unaired pilot to Star Trek the original series, using the original footage. So they're straight up going, no, don't think of this as being like different. No, this is the same thing. Yes, we know it looks different. It doesn't fucking matter. And it's like, you know what? Fair enough. Yeah. You're gonna go balls deep into this? Fucking do it. You roll with it. But yeah, it's Spock's finally in the fucking show after him being in all the trailers. He's finally actually doing stuff. And the last episode sort of kicked off what the entire series has really been about. Because there's been this overarching thing of these signals showing up and this red angel... Can't stop signal. This red angel appearing to people, who they sort of were able to like work out was... It wasn't like a being that looked like that. It was like a suit that they were wearing. It was technology, and they were sort of able to deduce that it was probably time travel.
Spoilers, by the way.
Oh, that's like 5 episodes ago.
Spoilers, by the way. Speaking as someone who sits there and goes, I can't look at spoilers because I'm not going to play this game for like 2 years.
Yeah. But that's all I'm going to say about it, because it does go into like a whole different thing. But like what that's actually more been about has sort of been established. And you're like, oh, okay, I didn't see that coming. That's interesting. So, but yeah, so it's Karen. I think we're up to episode 9. Not sure how many there's going to be. I've not looked it up. And so I won't say anything more about it. Okay. Apart from that, I played through a bit of Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2, which we made a video on.
Yep.
Finally putting out another Snipe and Wood play.
Yay.
Which is a quite good game. I found the first one had the problem that it was a little incomprehensible. It wasn't like,
just a little.
It wasn't like super difficult to play or anything, but it just threw a lot at you.
I mean, you're saying that the first one threw a lot at you. Literally, we got half an hour in, and we were still getting tutorial bombed. So it's like little windows going, "Hey, tutorials!" It's like racking up in the bottom corner.
I was that is a problem in the second one, but I'll contextualize that in a moment. Because the first one, I don't know, there's something about the way like its UI and stuff is laid out that I found it so difficult to actually internalize what I'm supposed to be doing at any time. Whereas they've refined a lot of elements of it, and I just found it so much easier to play. Just the raw playing of it made sense to me this time around.
I'm glad. No, that's very positive.
And yeah, it does have the problem of that it does kind of just talk at you with endless text boxes in the early parts of the game, tutorializing things.
Mispronouncing Ross's name.
But it does all this stuff at you, and it does kind of get a bit overwhelming. But when we were doing it for the video, I had already played through that part of the game myself already, so like I didn't have to pay attention to them, so it made them even more egregious because they were only coming up for me to dismiss them. Whereas if you're actually reading them, they're not as bad. And I think even though when it dumps like 4 of them on screen at once, they shouldn't do that. That's bad. When it's a constant stream of little ones, that's not so bad because that does help you slowly compartmentalize the little elements of it that you need to remember. But it's really quite good. And one thing I do really appreciate about it is how it does not give a fuck if you don't know what's going on in 40k. It's like, oh yeah, so here's the Vengeful Spirit. Here's the Blackstone Fortress. Here's the fucking Phalanx.
Like, here's the Phalanx booping a fucking Blackstone
We're just
Fortress.
gonna drop, this is fucking Belisarius Call. Okay, here's, it just constantly
Celestine's making planetfall. Hello!
Yeah, they just mention characters in it, but because it's based around the fall of Cadia. At least the first part is, it's set around as Cadia gets fucked up, and it's like, okay, that's really cool to actually really engage. I mean, obviously the first one did as well because it's based around the Gothic War, but how much it engages with the actual canon. And whilst I don't think every 40k game should be like that because it makes it fucking incomprehensible for people that don't know or care too much about that side of things. For someone that does, having a game every now and again that just relishes in that stuff is actually really cool.
Yeah, because then you don't have to waste a lot of time establishing 50% of the game is going to be establishing stuff that you already know, and it could have been it could have been expanding on the story that's already there.
It could have been.
Again, it's not something that should happen in every game, but every now and again you're just like,
yeah, you don't
know
have to.
This.
They don't have to sit there and thoroughly explain the context of how Cadia fell.
Like,
they just show you it falling.
The Phalanx is here. What's that? That's
Imperial. It's the Imperial Mobile Fortress Monastery. They've had it since the heresy.
Yeah, they've had it for a while. What's the heresy? Well, a big naughty boy called Horus, etc., etc. Yeah. And then you sat there for 20 minutes going, yeah, no, duh.
But yeah, it's pretty good. I've been meaning to go back to it, but I've been distracted by
porn.
By lots of porn.
Lots of pornography.
Lots of pornography.
Really weird pornography. Like stuff that you wouldn't consider actual pornography.
Well, I've got to change.
Like people sitting there and just making like grilled cheese sandwiches in like a Breville, like an old school Breville kind of sandwich press. But they're not even really dressed sexy. They're just dressed weirdly. Like there was one guy who was literally dressed as Grimace from like the old McDonald's mascots.
Snipe.
Yes, dear.
I've got to twist my taste into something that is seemingly more innocent because the UK's about to instigate a fucking porn block.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to send your fucking ID off so that you can access porn.
No,
which is not
have a VPN.
Honestly, I'm waiting for VPNs to be illegal.
I love it when things get instigated that won't solve the problem and cause people to just perform acts of technical illegality.
The funny thing is the fact that the fucking private companies, because if this was the government, I'd be like, I still would be massively against it. But it's the fact that they're outsourcing to a private company.
Oh, it's a company that owns porn.
It's the company that owns all of the big porn sites that people use. So it's so you're helping block off all this content to us, but you're also accepting money so that we can have a license to watch your pornography.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Probably nothing.
I'm sure there's nothing.
It's look, I don't fucking no force on this earth is gonna stop me from watching pornography. I'm sorry, and I will fight to the death so that everyone else can watch porn as well.
It's the principle of it.
It's the principle of the fucking thing. I will literally just go from door to door with printouts of drawn pornography and be like, hello,
we're gonna get the return to bush pornography.
Yes.
Yeah, we are. But the thing is, they're probably gonna be like, oh yeah, well, you need to send off your passport if you want to get mature housewives of Britain or whatever. Which, no, I don't. If I want to read about Margaret who's been spanking her flange all day, I'm gonna fucking do it, and you can't stop me. Because I want to see how good Margaret's feeling. I want her to have a good day.
Shall I move on away from this
Political talk.
apparently that we just slipped into because our country is on fire?
It is
all
on
the
fire and
time.
everyone's screaming, and now we
And
can't even whack off in fucking peace.
We can't even deal with the misery of fucking Brexit falling apart around us by having a big old wank because of the anxiety of that. Well, what if I won't be able to have a wank tomorrow? Because
Yeah, and then people are going to
this
be
will be
wanking
blocked.
themselves into a stupor just in preparation for it.
Ugh.
The shit's going to measure on the Richter scale. I'm not interested.
Anyway,
Moving on.
moving on to something else depressing and British. I finished watching Blake 7,
Okay.
Depressing and British, I see.
which is depressing and British.
How many seasons of that have you
There-
gone through now?
There are 4 seasons of it, each with 13 episodes.
Okay.
And they're just shy of an hour long. Because it originally was on the BBC. So,
Okay.
and yeah, having finished it, I can definitely say that if you're interested in old sci-fi, definitely give it a shot.
Be warned, though, it's British and depressing.
It has a quite sudden and very downer ending. I really wish they'd have put that into a 2-parter to make it not be quite so sudden. Its downer ending is quite famous, but I won't say it here because I think enough time has passed that it's not quite as notorious as it used to be. So yeah. However,
Did you enjoy your experience as a whole, despite the
Yeah.
rushed and downer ending?
I will say that it sort of fits into the same kind of category as Lex, which is another bizarre sci-fi show, where the first 2 seasons are really strong, and then the next 2 seasons are kind of flawed because so the guy Gareth Thomas, I think his name was, who played Blake, didn't want to come back after the first 2 seasons. So, yeah, Blake 7 doesn't have Blake after that.
Okay.
He's in like 2 more episodes, like 1 per season after that.
Probably like the bare minimum contractual
Yeah.
obligation kind of
He
thing.
agreed to come back to do those, but yeah, he didn't want to be in it. And so the most popular character, Avon,
My boy.
became the de facto main character at that point. And it meant they had to kind of change him a bit because he had to start caring a bit more about things.
It's like when they gave Joey his own spin-off TV show
Yeah.
where they had to completely change the character just so he could be like the main character.
I mean, it's more watchable than hit sitcom Joey.
I mean, because it wasn't a hit.
High
sitcom.
praise.
But yeah, that's not a barrier that is particularly difficult to reach. I'm pretty sure this podcast is more entertaining than Joey.
I mean, yeah.
I mean,
What
Look,
do you mean?
people watch. Well, people watch / listen to this podcast by choice. No one listened to or watched Joey by choice.
No.
It was because it was on and they'd been strapped to a chair.
With their eyes pried open.
It was only a Clockwork Orange style
Yeah.
arrangement that anyone watched Joey.
It's true.
But anyway, yeah, it did change quite a bit in the 3rd and 4th seasons by sort of necessity of the arrangement, and they didn't know they were going to get a 4th season, so they had to kind of cobble together a bit of a reason. And though there are a couple of good episodes in the 4th season, it does have some really weak parts, and there is a reoccurring enemy that gets away from by the necessity of them having them as a reoccurring enemy. They have to have ways of them getting away at the end, and they get away so many times it becomes a little ludicrous.
Yeah.
It's like that character should have been dead. There's about 8 times they should have died, and 1 time they should have died coming back's one thing, but then after that it gets a bit although it's kind of funny because the character comes back under a pseudonym partially because the actor that played them was really ill when they were originally starting to cast the season, so they wrote a different character instead of them, and then they were like, actually I'm fine, so they're like, okay, so this new character we wrote is the pseudonym for the previous character. Okay, cool.
Okay.
It's a bit weird. But yeah, it's like I gave the general overview in the last podcast, but it's worth giving a shot. It's all on YouTube if you want to watch it. It's got it's one of those shows with like a cult following. Although it's funny because you read online and people talk about it very positively generally. You see people talking about how kind of good the writing is and all that. But growing up, I only ever knew it as a punchline. People would say
It's probably just because the special effects were so lame.
yeah, the special effects were shite. Like the special effects range from, well, for the time, for TV, that's perfectly fine, to that was a bad effect. Why did you do it like this? You should have done anything else other than that. Particularly bad, and I think it's either the third or fourth episode, there's like a little guy with like a shriveled body.
It me!
And it's really obviously a dude poking his head through a bit of wood that's got his face cut out, like the shape of his face cut out, and then a shriveled body hanging beneath him. It's like, it looks like it comes from like, I don't know, like I want to say that it looks like it comes from like a fun fair. Like, it doesn't look like it should be on television.
Give those people some credit.
It's really,
Was there any time that somebody got their thumb cut off and they're like, oh, I've pulled my thumb off, oh no, and I've reattached it.
That's the thing that would have played way better for video.
I did the thumb removal, like, trick, obviously. You could tell by the...
Yeah.
Enjoy going through that noise when you edit this. Hearing those plosives, that's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm amazing, thank you.
No, it's never quite that bad. But it's pretty bad at times. But the actual show overall is pretty good. I'd say even if you're not like, if you're not willing to sit through 4 seasons of it, the first 2 seasons are pretty solid.
The 2 seasons where it is actually Blake's 7.
Yeah, when
not
Blake's
some
in the
other
show.
dude's 7.
It's not.
I guess some other dude's 6.
Oh,
I guess some like Blake 7 in brackets. Sometimes the computers count as people. Anyway, we've been
And then
through
Blake
this.
leaves.
And then Blake leaves.
And then Blake leaves, and they have to find more people, and it's a panic. Oh god. We'll hire this guy. Oh, he's accidentally too young. Oh, accidentally he's got Blake's haircut. Quick, cut his hair short so he doesn't look like Blake. I know he doesn't look like Blake, but oh god, quick, cut his hair. It's a weird thing, but it's
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
But I know my talking about it doesn't make it sound very good, but the quality of writing and especially like the banter between especially Blake and Avon and Villa in the first 2 seasons is really good, and there's some really interesting themes and interesting little stories done here and there. So it's worth checking out if you have an interest in old sci-fi. But yeah, apart from that, I have nothing else to discuss in particular in this segment, at least.
Cool.
But we do have something else to talk about.
Yes. So it's been a little while, and a beloved section of the MisanthroPod. I probably guess the only reason a lot of people would listen, which is, you know what,
segment of the MisanthroPod.
Yeah. So like, you know what, I get it. It's the only thing that I guess is quality out of the rest of this. But yes, we are actually starting up a new D&D campaign. The MisanthroPod will ride again, but we've all got different characters, and Drummer Matt's playing instead of DMing.
Yeah.
So our rogue Talus, Ash, is DMing instead. So yeah, we're going to be setting that up, and so we're going to be starting to tell stories. We're not entirely massively sure when our first session is going to be, but it's because I'm so like pumped for it, I'm probably going to browbeat everyone into doing it relatively soon.
It's going to be very relatively soon.
Yeah, relatively soon. So yeah, we thought we'd give you like a bit of just a very kind of quick rundown of the characters, like types we've chosen.
Yeah.
So just to kind of like, because I just want to talk about it because I'm so hyped. I can't wait. I cannot wait. So Wib or Drummer Matt. In fact, no, Drummer Matt, I know the least about your character. So like statistically, like what are your character's stats and like vitals?
My stats are a good story because we like to, as I think we've mentioned before, we as a group like to roll stats because, you know, it's more dice rolling, and that is fundamentally why we play any game, to roll shit tons of dice.
Because that's like
why I play orcs.
Pretty much,
it's
right?
So
I'm not wrong, right?
No, and the best part is we have started sending each other videos of when we're rolling the stats.
Yeah, I don't really like doing them at home because I think it's best if you can to roll your stats and things when you're all together and go, right, this is the roll that I'm doing, and then you do it, and then those are your stats. And there's a few things, if you roll catastrophically bad or whatever, you can, you can sort of be like, oh, you know what, I didn't get anything. This is ridiculous. I'll go again. But beyond that, like you roll your once when you're together, and then that's what you get. So then there's no. I don't mean cheating because it's arguably not.
Yeah,
cheating,
I guess it just feels, at least to me, that rolling
legit.
dice, it feels a bit more legit because you're like, hey guys, look, I'm not knocking dice, I'm not being a jerk.
Exactly.
I'm not like, oh look, I got like sixes every roll. Ooh.
Yeah, and not that any of us would do that.
No.
But it still feels, doing it not together, it feels a bit weird. But then because we want to get going and we're not going to be together for a while, I was like, right, okay, we're just going to have to do this separately. So I was like, no one else has to do this, but I'm just going to do a quick video, like 30-second video of me rolling my dice. Do the roll 4, take the lowest away. That's one stat, and then do that 6 times.
Yeah.
The first time I rolled, let me just bring up here just to...
Because this was legendary.
The first time I rolled, I got a 12. Okay, just for anyone who doesn't play D&D, 10, a standard commoner, it has a 10 for each 6 stats, which are, I assume most people know, but the 6 stats, what we got: strength, dexterity, intelligence, wisdom, constitution, and charisma. Not technically in that order, but whatever.
Yeah.
And the way we do it is you roll 4 dice, take 1 away.
You take the lowest away. Yeah,
take the lowest away, add the 3 up, and that's one of your stats. Do that 6 times, then you can assign those in any order to your stats. So it's nowhere near as strict as like the old school dice.
Oh wait, you had to go, okay, I am rolling for strength, and then and then you just had to go with
that's
whatever
like,
you got.
I like the randomness of dice, and I like that sometimes you can be ridiculously good at something or ridiculously bad, even funny at something. But it's really bad if you want to play like a wizard or whatever, and then you roll a low intelligence. You're like, well, I can't do that anymore.
Yeah, it's like
So
it's not
like,
even
that's
kind
just-
of like, oh, I want a superpower character. It's like, no, it's just your character is just.
And then you have
fucking
no
worthless.
flexibility into what you want to play as. So it's like,
Yeah.
well, anyway. So the first I rolled, as I said, a commoner is 10 for each of these things, just for reference. I got a 12, not bad. But then I got a 10, 8, 10, 5, 9. So overall, on average, puts me at less competent than just your standard, whatever, 4 HP, whatever a commoner has.
Yeah.
Like, I was like,
We watched that and we were like, what the fuck? That, like, get new dice.
Like,
so he did it again with good dice.
I did it again with new dice. And this
Because that
time
was
I got
ridiculous.
This time I got an 8. Good start. 9. Then I got an 11. Then a 12. Then something that's off the screenshot. I can't remember. It was another 10 or something. And then a 15. So I got one half decent stat. And I was like, well, apparently, that is still, it adds up to 64 in total, which is barely above a commoner. But I was like, well, you know what? This just means the universe wants this character to be kind of shit at things. And you know what? That doesn't not fit with his backstory. So, you know what? Fine, fuck it. Let's just deal with those.
Yeah.
Let's play as someone who's basically very average at everything and then slightly above competent at one thing.
Yeah, and you know what? We're gonna love them regardless. So what class? Because we're all starting out at level 5.
He is a variant human.
What does that mean?
That means, so usually when you pick a human, you get +1 to all 6 of your stats. Mm-hmm. So +1 to each one individually. Whereas on normal races, you get a +2 to one thing and a +1 to a second thing, and then you get like a few things like dark vision or bits and bobs. With humans, you normally get +1 to each stat because humans are just a bit good at everything, is the just sort of justification. Mm-hmm. But the variant human, instead of those +6, you get +1 to 2 of your stats. So you lose out effectively 4 skill points. But you start with an additional language, fine, whatever. But also an additional skill, sorry. And then you start off, which is why I chose it, you start off with a feat. And the character idea that I had was that I needed to start with a feat to make this character work.
Cool.
So I went variant human. So then put in one of my +1s onto my 15. So I actually have 116. So he's not terrible. He's a human fighter. And he's going to be a hand crossbow ranged based fighter.
Cool.
And the feat of which I can take is the crossbow expert, which makes being a crossbow person feasible as a fighter. Because usually if you've got a crossbow or anything with the loading property, means that however many attacks you have per round normally, so a lot of people get an attack, fighters and various other classes get an extra attack. So when you do the attack action, you can make 2 attacks, or when you get high levels, you can do 3, or I think possibly eventually even 4. Ooh. I've never got that high. But with the crossbow expert, one of the perks is that you ignore that loading property. So if you have multi-attacks as your action, you can fire multiple shots.
So you go full Legolas, but with a crossbow.
So, yeah basically. And the second bonus of crossbow expert is that if you make any attack with a light weapon, you can make an extra attack with a hand crossbow you're holding. So if I'm just holding a hand crossbow, which counts as a light weapon, from level 5 I get 3 crossbow attacks a turn.
That's actually pretty rare, dude. Nice one.
So yeah, that was my sort of conceit for the character, and then I built up his backstory around this, being like, why would he be good at crossbow? Why would he be doing this?
He's fucking gunslinger.
Yeah, basically.
Demon hunter.
But without like using a gunslinger class, because I know there is like not officially, but there's various. I mean, Matt Mercer did the one obviously in Critical Role, and there's various things like that. So he's just going to be a straight up fighter, which means I get to use like things like because being he's level 5, you choose your speciality, so he's going to be a battle master fighter, which means that he has maneuvers, which first is a fun word to write down.
Oh yeah, it's got O's and E's and V's.
Especially the British way, because I think that's closer to the French, and it's got far too many vowels in it.
Maneuver.
It's like they just sat there and looked at the word and went, you know what, this would be better if it had 3 extra vowels in it.
Yeah, it's great. So I get to do things like, I can't remember which 3 I picked, but you can do things like disarm people or make them fall prone or push them back, or you've got basically a lot of battlefield manipulation. And the sort of idea for that is if they get too close. The other bonus of the crossbow expert is that melee attacks with a crossbow in combat don't suffer your disadvantage. So I don't need to get out a sword or whatever. But I quite like the idea that if they get too close, I can like just bash them with the crossbow and like use a pushing attack to push them back a bit. And then I've still got 2 shots to shoot them from range. Nice. So I quite like that. I quite like that sort of. Even though mechanically I don't need to push them away, because like I can just attack them at range in melee, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I just quite like the idea of like, you know, Sparta kicking them back or whatever and then shooting them. So I mean, they do a save and it might not work, but that was so I was like, right, now I want to start with a feat to do this. And then there's another feat that I got, which I wanted to start with as well. So being level 5, we get an extra feat at level 4. Well, you can choose an ability score increase or a feat. So I'm taking a feat because my ability scores are fine. You know, don't worry about that.
No, they're perfect. What are you talking about?
So I'm taking another feat, but you'll find out that one once our characters meet, I presume.
Okay.
What's your character's name?
His name is Junior, or his name that he will introduce you to you is Junior.
Okay, I like it because I did see it, but I just wanted to say out loud.
Yeah. That's how he will introduce himself when he meets you guys.
Does he have Danny DeVito's voice? Because I need that in my life.
he probably doesn't, because A, I can't do accents, and B, if I did, depending on how long this campaign goes for, I don't want to commit to that.
That's fair.
How about you guys? What have you guys been thinking of?
Well, I'm probably the one who's got the least sort of stuff together. Because of the fucking nonsense I've been doing.
The workload.
So I just haven't got around to doing it.
Well, that and it all escalated really quickly.
Oh yeah, well basically I found out, I think you both had rolled for things, like, and had already decided on what characters you were building when I found out this was happening. So it was like, you know...
And I was like, I've come up with 30 pages of backstory, and you were like, what?
And you're like, I don't even know what. Okay, so this campaign's happening. Okay, great. That's good, but I need to pick something. So I was I wanted to pick something that we hadn't had in the previous campaign. And I was initially wanting to have a spellcaster because it looks like we're going to be relatively low on like spellcasting abilities in this round. But then, so I was like looking at like sorcerer or maybe doing a wizard.
Yeah, we were kind of like looking at them, and you just weren't really clicking.
And I wasn't really clicking.
Like, because like sorcerer is quite tricky for a caster, because like. Because Nathan was a warlock, and I was like, yeah, well, warlock's quite easy to get into for spellcasting.
Yeah.
And of course, Wib didn't really want to do that because we've already had a warlock.
But I happened to be looking at the weapons, and I realised that you could take a whip and a longsword at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And was like, oh, that'd be fun. I could play as basically Trevor Belmont.
And then literally group chat erupted in, oh my god, you need to do it!
Because then I was like looking, because I started looking, I was like, wait a minute. You could play as a ranger, and like rangers can do like more like multi-weapon use. Like that's just a thing they have abilities in. So it's like, oh wait, shit, yeah, I could totally do a Trevor Belmont character. So yeah, that kind of stuck. So I haven't decided on a name yet for the character, but I'm going to be playing as a tiefling male. I would, under normal circumstances, I would probably normally play the female of a class I've not played.
Everyone plays lady tieflings.
But yeah, everyone plays lady tieflings, so I thought I'd actually just play a male tiefling.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to be playing as that with the basic kind of undead hunter type thing.
It is Simon Belmont themed. It's not just going to be Simon
not
Belmont,
Simon
but
Belmont.
he's a tiefling.
It's not Simon Belmont, but I've borrowed the idea that he's an
undead slayer,
an undead hunter that uses a whip and a sword.
Because it's so fucking
Because that's just cool.
At the same time, can you do 2-weapon fighting with a whip and a longsword?
Yeah.
Because
They're both just one-handed weapons.
they're both like martial weapons.
Nice.
Or simple weapons?
Neither of them are two-handed, so,
Okay, you might have to do the 2-weapon fighting feat.
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
yes.
okay, cool. Because the longsword isn't light.
Yeah.
Sorry. Delving in far too much depth.
Yeah, no,
sorry.
I absolutely
It's just something that I was like, someone's going to say something, so it might as well be me.
You do have to go into the 2-weapon fighting thing,
okay.
which is what I'm going with, yeah. That's why I pick Ranger, because they can do that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And worst case scenario, I've not yet fully built the character. I've just rolled the stats and not built them. So if I do some deeper reading and find out that I can't use a longsword, I'll use a short sword. It's fine.
Yeah, like Trevor Belmont does use a longsword though.
But I think that's more of a stylistic thing because longswords look cooler.
They really do. Yeah.
No, you can do it. You'll just have to take the feat.
Yeah.
But that's easy peasy. That's definitely doable.
But yeah.
Nice.
How did you manage for stats? Because we rolled them.
I
recorded that for group chat.
Yeah, actually, I didn't record my rolls.
Okay.
Mine weren't recorded. But I got
Shocking.
a 14, 11, 10, 11, 15, 10. So, not the worst.
Not the best,
No.
but it's
Could have been
pretty decent.
Could have been better, but
Yeah, but I mean, because your tiefling will give you a bit of a bump on a couple of them.
Well, I think they get like an auto, like +2 to charisma, and
Plus
I think
2 to-
rangers use charisma to cast.
Yeah, because they have some spells.
Yeah, because I think it's only like wizard use intellect for casting, like out of like the kind of standard vanilla classes that I'm aware of. I'm sure someone's gonna.
Yeah, I know the arcane trickster rogue is, I think, int.
Yeah, I remember seeing someone actually complain the other day on Twitter about how intelligence is a garbage stat.
It's kind of a garbage stat, unless you're a wizard, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, so I'm
like, it's hard. Your investigation's not very good. I'm just going to perceive really well with my high wisdom instead. Okay, fine.
Damn you. I'm very wise, and therefore I'm very perceptive.
I think I do get a +1 as a tiefling as well, but they do.
You get I think you get +2 to
intelligence.
charisma. You get +1 to like intellect. There's some interesting racial bonuses in there. The book's like all the way over there. I'm not going to start rooting through it.
They get like hellish rebuke just as a.
Oh yeah, hellish rebuke. Okay, so people familiar with warlocks or the previous campaign that we were talking about with my warlock Nathan will probably be aware that hellish rebuke is a spell I took, which is you use it as a reaction. So when you're attacked, you literally point at the person who attacked you and they explode into flames. It is so awesome.
Yeah.
It's just, you're just like, ah!
Also, if I remember rightly, I think rangers also get the ability to, like, whenever they get attacked, to just attack back as well.
Yeah.
I can't remember when that ability gets. I know they've got like a bunch of stuff that obviously activates over certain levels.
Yeah, and I think like starting at level 5 with new classes has kind of thrown us a bit. But so we're not 100% correct apart from Drama Matt, he's just a crunch.
Oh yeah, like mine's
sponge.
I've
Sorry.
basically got the stats and I haven't yet written them into a sheet so to like balance everything out.
Yeah.
So things are obviously subject to change. But that's basically my idea. Is basically a tiefling who has for reasons that will later become apparent has got a bit of a vendetta against the undead, and it's not because I based them off Trevor Belmont. Shut up.
It's okay as long as you justify it for your tiefling. It doesn't matter.
But he's not going to be called our Trevor.
He's not going to be called Trev.
Trev.
No.
To be fair, I've been calling him Treffy. because I don't know his name. So it's just like, and my character, she's like, she likes giving people nicknames. So she's just like, it's kind of like a double thing where I'm like, yes. So have you rolled HP for Treffy yet? That's just like the work in progress nickname that I have for him.
But yeah, so I'm gonna be working out those stats probably over the weekend once my immense workload has ended. I'll actually be putting that in, so I'll be ready at the weekend. Basically, by the time you listen to this, I should have a character sheet together. So yeah,
I've already printed one out for you. It's sitting there going,
please fill me in. Oh, I'm so empty. Ooh.
Do you know what I do with a character sheet? Because
Yes.
you can get the PDF form fillable ones, but it's just not very nicely formatted. Like, the
Okay,
text
so I
size
did
is
a
bit
whole
weird.
form fillable thing and saved it, and it just only saved like half of it.
Oh no!
And
So
it just
what
kept
I've
doing
done,
that.
I downloaded the PDF thing, did exported it into a Word document, put it as the background of a Word document, put a load of text boxes where the text meant to go, and then now I get to like put bold at the title of my bit of like abilities, and yeah, so it took me far too long.
That's
but
still
now
pretty
it's all
clever.
lovely format, and I've got like a nice box because obviously using a crossbow I'm going to have bolts.
Yeah.
So I don't just want that in a list. So I've got a nice big box where I can just write in pencil how many bolts I've currently got or whatever. And
nice.
yeah, I spent far too long doing that
No,
because
that
apparently
sounds
you
awesome.
can't get a nicely formatted character sheet. So
Yeah, it's just a bit.
It's a bit
crap.
tricky. I tend to
just a
just
little
like
bit crap.
printing mine out. I just prefer it.
yeah.
I'm old school.
But yeah, so what's your character then, Snipe?
My character. See, I thought I'd go for something completely out of left field that I've just not really encountered. I thought I'd go for a paladin.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, we've not had a paladin. I don't think
No.
we've even had anything resembling a paladin show up in
No,
the campaign.
paladin, cleric, nothing like that. So I thought, fuck it. I'm gonna go from warlock to paladin because I am a creature of extremes. And I was like, there's like a few different oaths you can take. I think at around level 3. And like the first one is like, I am the stereotypical lawful good paladin, and if anyone breaks the rules, that's very naughty, and I won't lie.
And
And
all
it's-
the characters will be standing behind their back, making the wanker hand gesture constantly.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm not super into that. I want kind of like a bit more. There's like the oath of vengeance, which is basically just an angry, pissed off paladin that would just go and kill lots of people. And I'm like, that's not quite right. So I thought I'd go for the oath of the ancients.
Okay, yeah. Druid paladin, sort of.
Yeah, kind of. Like they're referred to as like green knights and stuff like that, and they're not like super into like lawful or like chaotic and like stuff like that. Like they don't really care about the law, and like some of them don't even care about like justice or anything like that. So I was like, okay. I mean, my character's still like neutral good because she's a paladin at the end of the day. And I'm like, yeah, let's go with that. But yeah, they're more kind of concerned with like preserving laughter and joy and like that kind of thing, and basically she's a Care Bear kind
Yeah,
of
okay,
thing.
yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, that's cool. So that's kind of the character I'm going for. I rolled really well. Like I had a couple of amazing rolls that
Yes,
I
you
did
did.
catch on camera. So I got a 17, a 10, an 18, 11, a 10, and a 9.
Yeah, so very average, and then two massive
Two
spikes.
massive, like huge things. Now, the way I've done it is I took, instead of a feat at level 5, I just took, like, extra stats. So now I have a 19 strength and a 20 charisma,
Yeah.
10 dex, 12 con, 10 intellect, and 10 wisdom. But, like, I'm proficient in fucking everything. Like, history, religion, like, investigation, insight. I'm taking the piss, quite frankly. But it does fit in with a backstory, so I'm not being a jerk. And I've got a shield. So I have a longsword and a shield. Because
Nice.
I've like none of us like never really
No.
seen how a shield works in D&D.
Yeah, like
before.
whenever you read like D&D threads on like Reddit or wherever, everyone's basically like, well, obviously take a shield because it's extra armor class for free if you're only using a one-hand weapon. But I'm like, but what if it doesn't work thematically and no one on the internet cares?
Yeah, no, this is true.
Like, I'm all for the crunch and I love working out good combinations of crunch, but also it's got to make sense storyline wise,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, I took a feat where I can't remember if it's a feat or not, I can't remember, but it's where basically what I can do is if I see a creature attack a party member within a certain amount of distance, I basically taunt them and they have to attack me instead.
Yeah, I don't think
Nice.
that's a feat. I think that's just an ability.
I think that's just an
Paladins
ability
get.
I have, which is like, yeah, because you can pick between them, and I was like, yeah, I'll pick that one. Because then that was it. It was like, you could pick
Oh,
dueling.
it was your style.
It was my
as the
style. So
of
my
Paladin,
style is like
yeah.
protection.
Oh, nice.
And
What
like,
race? What race are you? Sorry, did you
I'm
say?
a half elf.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I thought I'd be a half elf because a full elf, I was like, full elves are fine, but I want to be kind of like a half and half.
I do notice that we have this odd situation where you are simultaneously a tank and healer.
I'm the tank and I'm the healer. Yeah, and this is going to be interesting because now
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
start
I just
understanding
shoot
Johnny's
shit.
woes. Yeah, just stand behind me and shoot things. It's fine. But yeah, no, I'm like, so I haven't sorted out what spells I have yet because that's so confusing to me. But I'm going to be working on that. But no, like I'm really super into playing her, and because I didn't get my constitution. I had like a +1 constitution, and I started off at like 13, which for the tanky kind of build I'm going for didn't really work. Which is why
13 what?
I took armor class.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
I took a shield,
Okay.
which just gives me +2 points to my armor class, and now I'm like 15 armor class, and I'm like, I kind of feel bad for Ash because we're all being little shits about it, and this is his first time DMing.
Yeah, we're all sort of making slightly slightly weird characters. Well, I suppose your paladin's just straight up a kind of tanky paladin.
Yeah,
so
I mean, it
it's not,
depends on
like,
what kind of
too bad.
spells I take, but even then, like, I'd say mine's probably the more normal one.
Yeah, whereas I'm playing fucking Trevor Belmont, Matt's playing Stephen Von Shoot Averageman.
Yep, that's his name.
That's his
Yeah.
name.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Sarah is also playing.
She's playing an elven druid.
but she's probably not going to be able to play every game. So
Yeah.
she's going to be a somewhat transient character who'll be in and out,
Yeah.
but playing a druid.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, my character's name is Hela as well.
yes.
Hela. Yeah.
Ah, hell.
Hela. Yeah. Hela. To
Yeah.
which I kind of just want to, like, say that I didn't realise it sounded like Hela. As in, I'm gonna Hela tank.
I
And now
imagine she
I'm
puts on a
just-
pair of sunglasses before she goes in.
Yeah,
like,
she's like, it's time to get Hela protection.
sunglasses on, shield up. Let's do this, motherfuckers.
Yeah, really. But yeah, no. Don't know much about Sarah's character yet. We don't know her name.
Yeah, I don't know much about her at
Just
all.
know that she's a spicy girl.
All I know is that I think what she's done is she's effectively...
She's kind of gone with like a fire themed druid.
Yeah, she's a fire-themed druid that's basically like, well, sometimes fire is good to have a controlled burn.
Mm-hmm. So like she's good. I'm really interested to kind of see how the characters interact.
I feel like she's basically leaning into the fact that her character from the last campaign started off really nice and pleasant and eventually ended up being
Terrifying.
Sadistic.
the most
Yeah.
sadistic and terrifying character in our party, so I think she's just leaning into that this time.
Yeah, which is like, you know what? That's fair. I'm very interested to see how that goes down. But yeah, I'm excited.
I'm
Yeah.
excited too. It's going to be really interesting to see how these characters work together because...
Yeah, because like I have a feeling that we're going to get into a fight and immediately there will be one horrifying weakness that is just like the Achilles heel of our party, and it will just be the worst. And we'll probably like get someone like fainted immediately.
You know
and it'll be
what?
like, and I'll be like, oh no.
You know what, we could... I think it's one of those things where it's like, you can go into... you can go into D&D lots of different ways. You can go into it with, like, everyone, like, going, okay, I'm going to build the tank character, and then we're going to have someone as a dedicated healer, and then we're going to have a caster, and then have some other, like, off-tank kind of characters who can, like, back up melee. You can sit down there and really work out and have a really cohesive team.
Which is not what we're going to do.
Or you can do what we do and just make a bunch of characters who, like, we don't take the piss and we don't just all sit there and go, okay, we're all going to play casters or what have you. But we all sort of like come up with ideas and we sort of like, okay, these will probably work together, and so it means we can have sort of an interesting dynamic going. Like hell, the last campaign, we had no healer.
No.
Like, at all. The closest thing we had to a healer by the end was me as
With
a
your
barbarian.
crappy bard
Was as a
cantrips.
barbarian because I had taken 1 level in bard, and
Yeah.
so I could use my bard cantrips to occasionally heal people.
I think you healed me once.
Yeah.
Like, you pointed at me and started singing, and I was like, okay, my nose has stopped bleeding, but this is so fucking weird,
I
dude.
healed you for like 4 health.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I'm like, okay?
But I kind of like this way of doing it because I think for our party
This
anyway,
definitely works for us.
like I think if we all went into it like really mechanically, I think we'd end up with less interesting characters that we wouldn't be as enthused to play as.
Well, I mean, as a group, we tend to be aimed more to role play anyway. So like,
Yeah.
we're not.
Hey, you haven't seen me play yet.
Okay, but this is the thing, like,
Pew 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 pew, murder hobo.
but that's fine. We will accommodate for that.
No, it's all good. I'm just looking forward to being able to actually play. Like, I really enjoyed DMing, but I have been looking forward to actually play myself for a bit.
And now you will. I'm just gonna keep like harassing everybody to kind of get them ready to play because I'm basically ready to play now. I want to play right now.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I mean, some of us.
Okay, Treffy.
Yeah.
Look, we've got a name, Treffy. That works.
I've
Okay,
had immense
let's
amounts
go.
of work to do.
Yeah. I'm not saying that you should learn how to prioritize. I mean, I'm not because holy shit, you do it way better than me. But no, like
yeah.
we will. I'm looking forward to the stories. I'm looking forward to the stories we're going to make, and basically relay here very badly. And I hope everyone's looking forward to it because I'm so excited to be playing D&D again and with like
Yeah.
new characters because I fucking love D&D.
My only sadness is that the character I was originally going to use for the next campaign, I've obviously had to shelve for now, which was my Kenku rogue called Bark.
Well, boof. Or boof.
Yeah, technically it would just be the noise of a dog barking, but you know, for simplicity, he'd be called Bark.
Yeah.
So he'll be shelved for the campaign afterwards because that was for the one that you were going to be DMing.
Yeah,
so.
which I am not doing now for a while at least because mental health.
Yeah.
But Ash is like being a heroic DM and stepping up to the plate and is like, we're fucking doing this, and I'm like, I love you.
But yeah, so look forward to us actually talking about the campaign and not just gushing about the characters what we made in a future episode. Don't know when yet, but hopefully that will be
It'll probably be in the next like month or so. So
Maybe.
watch this space.
So which actually, given the fact that these podcasts only happen like once every 2 weeks, it's quite possible that
Like in like 2 podcasts from now.
yeah,
we'll
within the
probably
next
be
couple of
talking about-
podcasts, we'll have something to talk about.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. So, Le Drumblebum. Drumblespud, onto the questions, please.
Nice.
Drumblespud.
So Snipe, what is the email address they need to send it to?
Only drummer Matt
Drummer spud.
at only drummer mash at only drummer Matt at snipeandwib at gmail.com.
I'm sorry.
What's that again, drummer Matt?
Only drummer Matt at snipeandwib at gmail.com.
I still love drummer mash. They did the mash. They did the drummer mash.
Yeah, they did.
Oh.
So what? Before we get too bogged down in whatever's happening now, what are the questions we have been asked by the lovely folks at home?
Okay, so first up,
Yes.
Hans the Neck One,
Hello.
who has in no way been mind controlled by Neck One scarabs.
Oh, I was actually. You know what? I don't know why you'd bring that up, but at least I've been put at ease.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, it's good. It's good. I did ask if they need help. I told them to blink if they need help. So we'll see. This question regards with whom you would form a bond of eternity, merely exchange data, and delete from existence.
Okay.
Sexy. Okay.
Okay, so a fuck, marry, kill.
Yeah.
Mario, Sonic, and Cloud.
Oh god. Okay. I'd kill Mario. I'd like fuck Cloud, and I'd marry Sonic the Hedgehog. Like the one from like the new like CGI TV show where it's actually funny and well written though.
Oh, you mean Sonic Boom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the game.
The game's
show.
bad, but the
Yeah.
show's
So
quite
that was
well written,
easy.
yeah.
What about you, Wibblet?
I would kill Sonic.
You kill my husband.
I'd kill your husband.
After all we've been through.
Because I mean, you don't want to fuck him because you got to go fast, and it's.
Yeah, that was going to be... Yeah, no one wants to fuck Sonic because it'd be over far too quickly.
I'm more worried about chafing, honestly.
Oh, okay.
And he's just too immature to marry.
Okay.
I
You
probably
couldn't bugger him anyway because he's a hedgehog, right?
A hedgehog cannot be buggered at all.
Nice. I would.
Wizard staff is a knob on the end.
Yeah. I would probably. I'd fuck Cloud.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, he'd be like.
But I couldn't deal with a lifetime of those ellipses. And then I'd marry Mario because he's just a nice chap.
Okay. I mean, he can't get over the fact that his ex-girlfriend's married like Bowser, but go off. Matt, what about you?
So, yeah, I think possibly the same. Like, I couldn't marry Cloud or Sonic. I couldn't deal with either of them, so it'd have to be Mario.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I honestly, I don't even know who I'd want to fuck out of Sonic and Cloud. But I'd prefer... Cloud's too annoying. I'd kill Cloud just because he's too annoying. So I guess I'm fucking Sonic.
Okay.
I guess I'm going to have 4 or 5 seconds of fastness.
I'd it's be fine. Just make sure that you're lubed up in preparation because that speed will possibly start a fire if you go in. Like,
well, if nothing else, we'll find out the answer.
But kindling.
No, I'm just saying.
Then Drummer Matt's ass truly would be fire.
Like it isn't already.
Well, I mean, it already is, but now it'll be double fire. Fire induced by a penis.
Just this is a PSA. if you do choose to have sexual relations with a hedgehog that has been somehow blessed, be it by science or nature, depending on which interpretation you're going with extreme abilities of speed, then make sure to take precautionary steps with lubrication because you don't want to have that tender moment ruined
and
by possibly a small fire starting.
And also a lot of protection because like hedgehogs have so many diseases.
What?
Didn't recently someone get like
talking about
herpes off like from snuggling a hedgehog or something ridiculous like that? I can't remember. Hedgehogs are disgustingly gross in terms of diseases and stuff. They're adorably cute, but don't put them on your face.
Most like animals will be.
Well, it's like if you have like turtles and things like that, like little turtles, you have to like wash your hands if you handle them because you can get like salmonella off the shells and things. Maybe that's true. I heard that like a decade ago from someone that owned terrapins, and they did spend most of their time high on drugs. Okay. So,
or maybe they were just high off like all the weird diseases the terrapins had.
It's quite possible. They were licking their terrapins too often and getting high off whatever's on the shelves.
All right, next up. Lucas, this is an actual more serious question, slightly. Well, it's just not about who we'd want to hypothetically fuck.
Cool.
What did you want to be when you grew up, when you were a kid?
That's a really sweet question.
I never knew. I had no idea.
Did you have any inklings towards certain
I guess
things?
My inklings were sort of I guess I had some like inkling to like wanting to be like a race driver or something because I used to like really follow motorsport when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. But that's it. I seem to remember being really young and doing like a drawing at school where they were asking like what you wanted to be when you grew up, and I did like put down policeman for some reason, but that's like not something I was particularly strongly.
Who knows, kids.
But I've never been very good at like it's like what's your favorite movie kind of questions. I've always been really bad on those, like because it's all about. I always found it in context.
So a race car driving policeman.
A race car driving policeman
that can't remember why they became a policeman.
Yeah,
which is fine.
Yeah,
F the cops. Be gay, do crimes.
Yes.
Matt, what about you?
I'm not as a quite a young kid. I think I wanted to be like a fighter pilot or something. Before I realised that I didn't want to murder people.
Yeah.
Yes. You didn't want to blow people up. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, and then I think I was actually put off that by I looked up that I was too tall, or something, or I might become too tall.
You have to be like jockey size
or something. I don't really know. Yeah, I don't know.
I know that you have to have like really good vision.
Yeah, which I've got. I don't need glasses. So, but anyway, that was a lot when I was quite little, and then I think that probably evolved into just being a pilot for a bit. But I think once I started actively having to make choices in education and stuff, I think by the time I had to do that, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I just kind of chose what I was currently okay at, and then sort of figured I'd fall into a job eventually. Yeah. Snipe, did you have any ideas?
So many. Okay, so I wanted to be a policeman. I also wanted to be like a Caped Crusader crime fighter,
Okay.
which I actually did. Like I used to dress up and jump out my window at night to go fight
Nice.
crime, and then I would like wander around the garden and get really scared.
You gay
'cause,
fight
like,
crime.
okay.
We can update it slightly.
Yeah, yeah. And then I would just climb back in my window and just be like, "I'll do it tomorrow." It'll be fine.
What age was
'Cause
this?
I was scared
Like,
because
approximately.
I was like 6.
I want like video evidence of 6-year-old
Didn't you dress up
jumping out
as like a
windows.
particular hero?
I dressed up as the Yellow Power Ranger a couple
Nice.
of times, and I was like, no, I want my own identity, so I dressed up as the Paw.
The poor.
Which was like from my favourite kids' books. It was about a young girl who dressed up as the Paw, and like PAW. And she dressed up like a white cat, and she would go and she wouldn't go like, it wasn't like baby Catwoman or anything, but it was like a little bit like that. And like a lot of the books involved her just like besting like 2 fully grown like criminal men, and I'm like, I can do that tomorrow. It's dark.
Oh.
I also really wanted to be a mechanic.
Oh yeah.
I desperately wanted to be a mechanic, and I
I can see that. I can see that.
I got made fun of so ruthlessly for being a gay at school. It's like, yeah, because I liked gears, and I liked brum mobiles, and I wanted to put them together, and I wanted to fix them. I liked taking things apart and putting it back together.
Because having an interest in mechanisms is totally something that has a bearing on your sexuality.
Yeah, or like your.
I mean, how are you going to get your dick stuck in a gear if you don't have a dick?
Exactly.
Yeah,
so that's why I just didn't do it.
Valid concern.
Yeah, but like, I remember like a teacher was making fun of me for that.
Yeah,
like,
we were the
okay,
worst.
guess-
See, this is an example of, as much as, it's easy to get bogged down in the horrific internet and things that are happening at the moment, we have progressed as a society.
We really have. And
It's really easy to get bogged down with all the
glad.
bad stuff, but the general trajectory, as much as you can't ignore all the bad stuff, is still hopeful, I think.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so like, yeah, I really wanted to be a mechanic, or like basically, I didn't know what an engineer was, but I guess I probably would have wanted to be an engineer. And also I wanted to be a professional fighter.
Okay.
Just to beat people up.
I just wanted to be like, I didn't know what MMA was.
Yeah.
But I just wanted, I was just like, I love Tekken and like stuff so much. I want to do that.
You just want to be
when I'm
Tekken
older.
as a career.
I just want to. I want
You want to
grow
be
up-
John Tekken.
Hello, my name is John Tekken, and I'm here to do fights with other like-minded Tekkens.
My name is John Tekken, and I'm here to do fights. Is totally been the name of this episode.
But yeah, I wanted to be a lot of things when I was. I wanted to draw Batman cartoons. As
Okay,
well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Based off the
animated
Bruce
series.
Timm era,
Yeah.
cartoon.
Yeah. And an actress, but that's something that I've always wanted to kind of be. Yeah, I just can you see that that's reflected in basically that I have like 18 different fucking hobbies now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a lot of things. But that was a really nice question.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah.
All right. I'm trying to say this without sounding too disparaging. Back to the fuck, marry, kills.
Okay.
I do enjoy.
We
I
had to
do
have a
enjoy
break
these
for
ones too.
wholesomeness.
So
Yeah.
right, we've got one each. Bloodwolf Koji. We've got one each.
Okay.
Snipe.
Yes.
Bjorn Stormwolf.
Okay.
Rogal Dawn.
Rogel
Rogel
Dawn.
Dawn.
Yeah, I got there eventually. Or Fel Zarost.
Okay, so I'm going to kill Fel Zarost because I don't know much about him, and he's going to be hella old because he was in the Heresy. No offense to him, just I like to date within my own age.
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
fair.
Well, give or take a few hundred years, I guess. Not like 10,000's a bit much. Bjorn Stormwolf, I will fuck and I will marry Rogel Dawn because honey, do we need dog food? No. Okay, love our little talks.
Yep.
It'd be amazing.
All right. Wib.
Yep.
Chief Librarian Tigurius.
That guy,
Okay.
yes.
Inquisitor Cryptman. And Captain Bloodflag. Who
Okay,
is
cool.
presumably an orc.
Yes.
Do you think?
Well, let's make this nice and quick. I will kill Critman because he's done some bad shit.
He's a naughty boy.
I will fuck Tigurius. I'm not sure how you're supposed to pronounce it. I've never heard it said out loud. But I'll fuck him, I guess, because
I mean, he's got to get freaky with that stick.
someone's got to get fucked here.
Right, okay.
And I guess that means I'm marrying Blood Flag, which I'm okay with, because Blood Flag is a cool dude. Although don't have a nice hat around him, he will steal it.
What if you give him a nice hat? That could be you proposing.
Yes.
Yes, there we go.
Perfect.
There we go, that's fine.
Perfect.
So Matt, what's your
Matt,
choice?
I have Khan the Betrayer, Marnius Calgar.
He can betray this ass.
Marnius Calgar, and
He can Calgar this ass.
and Alfarius.
Yes.
Everyone is Alfarius.
Alfarius.
My ass is Alfarius.
So obviously, got a fucking avatar of Khorne, because that's what could go wrong.
Well, I mean, if you like it bitey, they've got you covered.
Yeah. Dick for the dick god. Why not?
Oh God.
Dick for the dick throne.
Yeah.
See, what I went to was come for the cum throne. I was like, oh God,
Oh,
no.
no. That's
So
too
sticky.
far. Imagine sit down like... Oh, no.
Oh.
Oh, I sat in a cum throne. Oh, no.
Oh.
You're the one who came up with it.
I know, and I'm upset.
You should
Um,
be.
Out of the other two, gonna have to kill Alfarius. I think it'd be fun to kill.
If you can
Primarch.
find the little shit. Because like you'll have to kill like the entirety of the Alpha Legion because they all think they're Alfarius.
Yeah, that'll be worth it to get to a Primarch.
I reckon you could do it, dude.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
totally.
Just go
So I
nuts,
guess
yeah.
by default, I'm gonna have the most mundane marriage alive with the chapter master of the Ultramarines.
He has got very big recently.
He is big, yeah. His hands are, his hands are quite big. I feel like he could hold his hand out and I could just like sit in one of them and just be like cozy in one of his giant hands.
I'm just imagining Marnius Calgar sitting there, holding you delicately in his hand while you're curled up like an egg.
Yeah.
And then he breaks you and spits you into it's like someone else's mouth.
Let's not make this be a recurring theme of this podcast.
We have a question for Snipe.
Oh, okay. Everything you saw was legal in which the countries and it was filmed.
So Snipe, this is a
Yes.
sort of would you rather, but I don't think it's like a would you rather these two bad things.
Okay.
If you could request one thing from GW to improve the Space Wolves, would you rather ask for legitimately scary Wolfen models, or have them actually give Murderfang a backstory aside from he was just there and we don't fucking know who he was because he was a bit scratched up and meh.
That's pretty much exactly the backstory. Yeah.
So those are your choices.
I just want Murderfang taken out of canon. Same with the Wolfen. So this is like an impossibly different.
Oh, so this is a
question.
horrible. Would you rather this
It
horrifying
is,
thing
yeah,
or the other?
Because this person probably knows that I fucking hate Murderfang and I fucking hate Wolfen.
I think the Wolfen, I think both of them could be done
Okay,
well.
which would you
Well,
rather
okay.
was done well? Knowing that the other one still exists in its shit form.
I personally, I think you should go for the Wolfen because the Wolfen are more
The Wolfen
integral.
have garbage models, and I want to see them like actually just be wolves, like wolf men in power armor or something.
The old ones were a lot better. Like,
See, I'll go for the Wolfen to be made not shit, and just keep pretending that Murderfang isn't a thing.
basically, you just want them to be once again a squad of Lon Chaney Juniors.
I do. Is that so much to ask?
Which I guess is scary in a weird way.
Yeah, there's more.
Because that was the actual question, so
Yeah.
about them being scary.
Yeah, make him scary. That's cool.
But if they can't, I guess if they can't be good, then at least make them scary. Because
Yeah.
right now they're neither good nor scary.
Yeah, they're dumb. But yeah.
Okay, next up, Cameron.
Hello.
First one is possibly a long question. What do you think of 8th edition's law and rules?
How long
See
you
the
got?
previous 73 podcasts, I guess. Rules
Short at
rules good.
yeah.
I think that answers
like
for
the
all of
rules.
us. I think
I like the simplification.
It
The
does
law-
have its issues, but
Yeah.
I think overall it is a positive step for the game.
And like fluff and crunch wise, I'm liking both things. I like that the rules have been streamlined, although again, they aren't perfect, and I like how the lore is moving on. So
I whilst I think there are certain elements of it like that are imperfect, like all the Primaris being pulled out of like
someone's butt.
Really.
Cole's butt, and it like being rolled out so massively, so quickly, and how that has sort of manifested in regular Marines feeling very sidelined this edition in terms of like releases and how they're being presented. Like that's an issue, but overall I like the rules, and the lore is mostly pretty decent, and honestly just the lore actually moving and
so
something
refreshing.
happening is nice, and it's good to see things actually changing, because the setting had basically barely budged an inch since about 1998. And even then, it hadn't really budged since 1987. It's just that it got retconned so much between then and 1998 that you could almost count that as being progression.
But yeah, what about you, Drummer Butt?
Yeah, I mean, rules-wise, I've really enjoyed the few games we played. I like my big towel things getting to shoot all of their guns at all different people.
Yeah.
I don't,
that's great.
but you do you.
So, yeah, I would be intrigued to have a play with a different army. But yeah, rules are great. Lore-wise, I honestly don't get into it as much as you guys. I kind of learn passively rather than I've not actually gone too far out my way to look it up. So yeah, I agree with the Primaris thing. Like, it does feel a little bit like normal Space Marines are kind of just guard now, almost. They're kind of just like the lower tier whatever, and then the big great warriors are these Primaris ones. And you're like, no, well, Space Marines are still huge and ridiculous, and they already felt a bit underpowered compared to what they should be anyway, and now they just feel even more underpowered compared to these walking murder bots that they basically are lore-wise. So it's a little bit weird, but yeah, I do like that they're progressing. So yeah, Cameron also sent a fuck, marry, kill.
Okay.
Cool.
A guardsman, an Eldar guardian, and a Tau fire warrior.
Okay.
I would fuck a Tau.
Not allowed. You get taken away by the police.
That's the Inquisition coming to get me right
Yeah.
now. They're like, no, you don't. Like, no.
Not after the porn block.
No.
Too kinky for the UK.
Now we have to start getting sexually aroused by ankles again.
It's the only way.
That's the only
It's
way.
the British way, damn it.
Look at the ankles, think of Queen and Country, and just cry.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Unless you're a guy, then you can't cry. That's not allowed.
Apparently,
it's not allowed.
That's something you'll need to get a news
Cry
agent,
license
a cry license, a crysense, if you will.
Anyway,
I'm just going to kill the guardsman because
I think they're going to be taking it as a mercy at this
that's
point.
just a dude or lady. It's just a person, just a regular person, and just in the context of this, that's just
mundane.
well, that's just
the easy way out.
It's too mundane. So realistically, it's what do you want to spend your life with, a Tau or an Eldar? And
I'm going to assume that this Eldar wouldn't be sitting there just constantly belittling you
yeah,
for being a human, because like otherwise, why would they bother hanging around?
I'd probably have to go for fuck the Eldar and marry the Tau. Although I do so with reservations, because the Tau will not live as long as we do.
They're like Solarians.
Yeah, don't Tau live a lot shorter than humans? I might be misremembering
I think
this.
they live about like 40 or 60
I
years
feel like
or
it's
something.
something like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just don't live as long as we do. So that
But I mean, they live longer than a guardsman who live approximately 5 minutes after like being inscripted. So
Yeah, you're not wrong,
conscripted.
you're not wrong.
Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
So yeah, I'm gonna fuck a Tau because I want to see what those hoops can do.
yeah, fair.
I would marry the Eldar and I wouldn't kill the guardsmen. I'd ignore them.
You'd let them retire.
I'd let them
and go
retire
live on a
because
farm
fuck,
somewhere.
they deserve it.
Well, I guess I'm gonna give the third
thing.
answer. I think fuck a Tau just to see what happens,
Yeah.
and then marry the.
Because they're all about for the greater good.
Yeah,
of
exactly.
Sex, I guess.
My genitals.
The greater good of your genitals.
Exactly. And then, yeah, I could not live with an Eldar for... They just... Yeah, no, you're going to have to kill the Eldar. Marry a guardsman.
Okay.
And then hide them from the Empire so they don't actually have to
And
go
then,
and
like,
die.
immediately after you finish your nuptials,
Yeah.
they just explode.
Yeah, probably.
A demon claws their way
Yeah.
out of them. You're like, oh no. Oh well.
Oh, well. Back to fucking the tail.
The tail's like, for the greater good of your penis.
Alright. I am the guy.
Okay.
Not me. Another person.
Oh, okay.
Another person is the guy.
So that was a really weird kind of like flex. You're like, I am the guy. And I'm like, okay.
Like, okay, man. Whatever
I
you want to be.
occasionally
Whatever.
say. So, a husbando for rating.
Okay.
Solaire of Astora.
100% like,
for those who don't know, original Dark Souls game.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, I'm going to give him like a solid perfect 10.
Whatever
He's amazing.
the highest possible score available
Okay.
can be.
They do
Solaire
they do
deserves
clarify
nothing
the
but
version
this.
where he doesn't go insane and stick a gloving beetle on his head.
Yeah, he degloves himself.
No, he sticks a glowing beetle on his head.
Oh,
He
glowing.
finds
Okay,
some-
that was a typo from me then.
Yeah.
Oh, look at you, a gloving. Oh.
He just
Solaire, you
he
kinky
just
boy.
staples a glove to his face. It's really weird, actually.
I was intrigued to hear what that was, but I was like, well, he has got insane, so that's fine, I guess.
I mean,
He's just eating a bunch of gloves.
I mean, the real version of it is he finds a glowing bug and like wears it as a hat, which is not particularly more sensible.
No.
Stapling leather gloves to your forehead. But no, I'd marry.
yes.
I'd marry him, fuck him, and not kill him. And he's 100% the best husband.
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10, solid.
I mean, I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. He'd get a perfect 10 if he was in a better game.
fuck. I mean, speaking as like the neutral party here, I'm side with John.
And fuck you too. It's the best game.
Next up, Captain Machine. It's not a question, but a recommendation.
Okay.
So they say, I may be late to the party, but as sci-fi fans, I cannot recommend enough Netflix's new show, anthology show, Love, Death and Robots. Have you guys seen it?
Like, no, I've been meaning to see that because apparently, what is it? It will just show you things out of order.
Yeah.
Like every user gets a slightly different. Well, not every single. User.
There's a couple of different running orders for the episodes that they're trying out, like using different.
Okay, but if it's an anthology
Different
show, they're
robots.
not connected anyway, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter.
It's kind of like, from what I can see, it's like the Animatrix, but probably nowhere near as bad. Where they have traditional art, kind of like more traditional animation. They have
Okay,
CGI.
I've seen the Netflix banner thing for it, but I didn't even realise it was animated.
I've heard it's quite good. I've been meaning to watch it.
I have had it recommended to me
Yeah.
before as well,
Okay.
and I will give it a watch.
I bet what I've heard is that
Like the first person to recommend it to me was like, "Oh, it's got wieners and butts," and I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of there.
I've heard that it is, when it's good, it's fantastic. But there are some episodes that are a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's being an anthology show that you are going to
Yeah.
enjoy some more than others, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I've been meaning to check it out, so good to hear a bit of a recommendation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, next up, Acidus.
Hello.
We've got a fuck, marry, kill.
Ooh.
It's a good one. Are you ready?
Okay.
Is it for all of us?
It's for all of us.
Okay.
A pair of old socks, next door's cat, and all the tennis balls. The side
Okay,
the
this
side
is
the side
amazing.
note being, in this scenario, we are dogs.
Okay, I prefer it if we weren't, and this was just like, I marry the tennis balls.
Well, I'm a dog, so
You're gonna fuck the cat, fuck the tennis balls, and fuck whatever
yeah,
the first thing was.
it's fuck.
It's fuck, wolf.
Dogs don't have a concept of marriage.
No, don't force like dogs to marry things. That's weird. So yeah, I'm gonna fuck a cat.
Fuck the cat.
I'll fuck the cat.
Marry the tennis balls.
Marry the tennis ball. What was the first one? I'm probably gonna fuck that
Kill
as
the
well.
sock. Actually, you probably fuck the
Pair of old
socks.
socks.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna kill the socks, fuck the cat, and marry the tennis ball.
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, let's do that.
And I'm doing this as a human being. No, I'm not. No. What about you guys?
Be careful. Last time someone made a joke about fucking a cat, they had to apologise on Twitter.
Well, thou doth protest too much. I didn't tricked my cat into coming and licking tuna flakes off my testicles last Thursday evening because my tennis coach cancelled. It's a vicious lie. Like, okay. What?
Would you agree with the stance, Matthew? Just to get you away from the question, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just fuck all the things as a dog. Sure.
Okay.
Fuck. So yeah,
Okay.
that wasn't a fuck, marry, kill. It was a fuck.
Yeah.
So
Maybe eventually, fuck, kill the cat, I guess.
I mean, I feel that this is just gonna devolve into just tell us the people you would fuck. If you were a dog.
Eventually.
If you were, 3 times Olympic decathlete champion, who would you fuck? Well...
I feel that someone is sitting there at home and they've got, a big board out with, bits
red
of
string.
red string connecting all the things. They're trying to work out, each of our
massive piles of
personal,
cigarettes.
the person we are most attracted to in the world, by using this kind of vectors.
I mean, it's easy for me, because it's Wib.
Oh.
Very closely followed by Chris Redfield.
I mean, that's...
Very
And next
close.
door's cat, a pair of old socks I saw on a pile of tennis balls.
And Geralt in the bath.
That good. And, yes, Geralt in the bath.
I don't even want to explain that noise you just
Anyway,
made.
let's move on. For sake we had nothing to talk about going into this. This podcast has gone on for way too long.
Very
you're
last
like,
question,
oh God.
and my last
Yes.
editing thing for you, Snipe, is that you can add a nice fade out to this one.
Okay.
So, Seamus, 1 year ago I asked a question, Snipe and Webb, and Snipe recounted how the drummer butt had destroyed a toy-selling institution. But Wib never gave an answer, so I wish to ask again. Wib, what is the worst thing you have seen drummer Matt do?
Well...
Today? In the last few months?
I mean, there's been so many things. I mean...
So many horrifying things.
Probably the biggest one that I can think of offhand is there was that one time that we went to a steam rally. You know, the places where they have the steam powered engines that move around. They're like trains, but they're
Also kind of like a locomotive convention.
Yeah.
I wasn't there. I was
no.
working.
That's it's a very us
You are
thing.
Yeah,
nowhere
actually-
near enough British enough to do that.
No, I was working, so I just heard the story afterwards.
And obviously we go to that thing. We're looking at seeing the big steam engines move around, and it's all really cool. And there's people wearing flat caps everywhere because
It's very English, yeah.
it's just that kind of thing. And then about half an hour in, everything seems normal, and then I turn around and Matt's just not there.
Oh no. See, drummer Matt's like, oh god,
ooh,
I remember this.
where was I?
I look down, and I just see his shoes on the ground.
Well, has he
the
got
ones
any
that the ones that have got the little stickers on, little star stickers.
Oh, you mean his thigh-high Crocs?
Yeah. Those were just on the ground, and I'm like, okay, what's happened here? And I go all around looking for him, and there's just no. I ask around. I'm like, have you seen a guy? He's a bit taller than me. He's got a beard, dressed as like a 5-year-old. Have you seen him?
Without thigh-high Crocs.
He's not wearing. He won't be wearing shoes, or at least he may have found new shoes. I'm not going to. He may be stealing shoes from someone. I'm not going to sit there and say that's not true. And they're like, actually, I did see someone matching that description, running that way, tearing their shirt off, and I'm like, okay,
That definitely sounds like.
I'm like,
drummer
yeah, that
Matt.
sounds
Yeah,
like him.
no.
So I follow that path, and I.
Did you find any bits of torn cloth or anything?
I did find what I believe were the shredded remains of his t-shirt.
Okay.
The t-shirt.
The one where it had the IM5 badge.
Yeah, it had IM5 badge on it, and it's a t-shirt. Really weirdly for the defunct soap El Dorado. Don't know where he got this shirt from, but he wears it sometimes.
Was he wearing that when you got there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I thought that maybe he'd managed to acquire such
No,
a
no,
shirt.
that,
and
no.
was just tearing
Can't
off
remember.
different-
He used to wear that all the time when he wasn't wearing his Crossroads shirt.
Oh yeah. No, and, it was 3 sizes too small for him, and
So his
someone
tummy
had,
button was always poking out.
his tummy button
yeah.
was always poking
Yeah.
out, so that's when he got the belly button ring, so he could get the key ring and just
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
put it thread through the hole and
Yeah.
hook it onto his belly button.
Yeah. I then follow, and then I start hearing the screams. It happens.
Well, I think we've all been there. Quite
And
frankly.
I go a bit further in, and like, it turned out he hadn't actually done anything really that bad in a real sense, because what had actually happened was he had just suddenly realised that he'd suddenly taken to believe that he was in fact a train, and that he wanted to return.
That's why he took off his shoes and shirt, because trains don't wear shoes or shirts,
so
but they do wear underwear.
He wanted to return to what he eventually told me was train mother. So he had got into the cab of a thing, hissed at everyone who tried to stop him.
He does that so much.
And then he crawled into the little furnace part.
Oh, where they put the coal?
Yeah, he just jumped in there and had curled up into a ball, and he's like, I will be reborn.
With the train mother.
The problem, you see now, that in and of itself, it doesn't sound too bad. Obviously, it's weird and unsettling.
And it's probably like trespassing onto like this probably like ancient museum kind of like train.
And like, obviously, it took fucking hours to hose him down afterwards with a coal dust on him. And you know, I'm glad that he took the Crocs off, because otherwise those would have been ruined.
Yeah. And he loves those.
But the problem was that as soon as he jumped in there, there was actually a demonstration going off. So a bunch of kids were being shown like how trains work, and they just explained how that part is just a huge furnace, and it wasn't actually on. Like, the furnace wasn't on. This had just been like brought in to show demonstration. They didn't want to make it dangerous by having the live like furnace going. And as soon as he jumped in there, he just started screaming. Like, it was a
Was he screaming anything, or was it just noises?
No, it was like a visceral, like, it sounded like a man was being torn to pieces, or possibly burned alive. So the kids didn't really understand that, so they just thought that a wild, semi-naked man had run past them, hissing at people, and then leaped into a fire where he was burning to death. And so, you know, whilst in and of itself not the worst thing he's probably done, it was the one that resulted in the most children having to have therapy afterwards.
Is that when he came, like, because you guys came back, and I remember distinctly Drummer Matt was coated in like the ambrosia rice pudding. I think it was the chocolate rice pudding, because he'd mentioned some interesting.
No, that was a car boot that we went to.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's the worst thing that I've seen Matt do, at least in terms of consequences.
What happened? What were the consequences?
The children needing vast amounts of therapy because they thought they saw a man burned alive.
Okay, that's fair. And Matt was just screaming, I am with one with the train, mother.
So yes.
I miss totally legit. Oh no, it's the Drummer Matt hiss police. But yeah, and I've missed, like, you know, relaying the completely 100% factual tales of Drummer Matt.
Yeah.
Because he does some horrible things.
Like, eventually we'll have to phase out the fuck, marry, kills, you know, because, you know, eventually we'll have just done it too much. We will. And, you know, I think we need to move on to something new, and, you know, maybe that can be the new thing. It doesn't need to be the new thing. I can't come up with a new one of those every week. Jesus Christ.
I can. I can, and I will. I have a really good memory.
Sorry, I don't mean come up, I mean remember.
I have a really good memory for all of Drummer Matt's transgressions.
Yeah. So move on to another question.
No, that was the last question.
That's
was that last question? Okay,
cool.
Okay.
Which is probably good, because it's 2 hours, 20 minutes later.
Yeah. So, Drummer Matt, did you get banned from that place?
Well, I mean, it was a field, so it's hard to ban you from a field.
Yeah, but did they
try?
But
he is banned from that field.
Yeah, but I am banned. It was hard, but I am not.
I mean, strictly.
I'm not banned. I'm just not encouraged to go back, because there'll be
in fairness,
some form of consequences or something. I don't even.
In fairness, he is already banned from all fields all the time, forever.
No, there are 3 fields, like, in the local constituency that he is not banned from, but he's on thin fucking ice.
Yeah, but I think, like, as a general rule, he's not supposed to go in them, mainly if they have livestock in, for, you know, the thing that happened a couple of months ago.
You take me to see trains, what do you expect? I mean, trains?
I mean, I'm not going to victim blame, but yeah, you did take Drummer Matt
to
see trains.
it was on me.
Yeah.
And on that tale of woe and childhood trauma, we should probably end the podcast.
We should end the podcast with that every time, because that's so accurate.
Yes.
Yes. So thank you very much for listening, everybody. I've been Snipe. He's been Wib. Say bye.
Bye.
And he's been Drummer Smash.
Bye.
Goodbye, everyone. Have a good one.